This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Good morning. The Prime Minister intervenes in a Freeport layoff situation, the container port reversing its decision to terminate workers. Village Road businesses asking the government to help them stay afloat as work drags on the thoroughfare. And a young woman collapses and dies on a basketball court. It's all straight ahead this morning. I'm Dwight, and this is Morning Blend.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's here. It's the start of the end of the old way. Revolution. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning again, Bahamas. It is Friday, January 6th, 2023. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Again, I'm Dwight Strawn. In a moment, Stephen Hanna will be joining us. Also this morning, our Safe and Sound series, our monthly series, we're going to be looking at security forecasting. What is it? And why do you need it? We'll be talking about that. And later in Morning Blend Business, we'll be talking with the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association about what they're hoping. They're hoping now. They're saying now they can't go any further. They need that margin increase. We'll get their position. That's coming up. But first, it's time for the overnight, the latest breaking news from while we're sleeping, and the top national and international headlines this morning. In the overnight, the Freeport Container Port reversing a decision it made to lay off 20 people after Prime Minister Philip Davis intervened. The announcement coming shortly after PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell, who is also the Minister of Foreign Affairs, held a press conference in Freeport lambasting the company for terminating the employees while so many Grand Bahamians are still recovering from Hurricane Dorian. Mitchell said he and the Prime Minister and the Minister for Grand Bahama, Ginger Moxie, and Minister of Labor, Keith Bell, held a phone call yesterday to discuss the layoffs. He said the government received a letter from the container port on Wednesday advising that 20 employees would be terminated effective December 31st. The letter was dated December 28th. Mitchell saying, quote, "This city seemed to be just catching a break and an upward trajectory, and for these developments to happen just seems unfortunate and shocking to me." He said the community needed to grow and develop and needed all of its commercial entities, private and public, to pull together for the success and upward movement of the community. Mitchell says the company's initial decision to terminate the employees was made because business fell off by 30% in recent months, but he also questioned the legality of the process. The container port has been in operation on Grand Bahama since 1997 and serves as a major hub for worldwide transshipment of container cargo. It employs 558 full-time employees and nearly 200 casual employees. It also manages the Freeport Harbor Company, which has over 100 employees. Grand Bahama continues to face major economic challenges. Following the impact of Hurricane Matthew in 2016, the Grand Lucayan Resort closed. It was later purchased by the government under the Minnis administration, which made plans to sell the property to Royal Caribbean and ITM, but that deal was canceled by the Davis administration, and a new deal with Electra America Hospitality later collapsed in November. A teenager collapsed and died on a basketball court at a park in Mason's Addition. It happened yesterday during a basketball game. Police say there were no reports that she had complained about feeling ill before she collapsed. Police are not immediately clear whether the teen, who was a resident of the area, had a medical condition. Bystanders visibly shaken by her death. The matter has been classified as a sudden death for now, according to police. Village Road businesses are asking the government to approve an economic stimulus package to help them make up for losses incurred as a result of an extensive and protracted road improvement program to stay afloat. In a December 9th letter to the Minister of Works and Utilities, Alfred Sears, President of Four Wall Squash and Social Club Michael Fields proposed the Village Road Improvement Project economic stimulus for businesses that are being negatively affected by the area. The project, which began in early 2022, includes the addition of new traffic signals and roundabouts. And the work continues at this time. A magistrate setting a tentative trial date for a man accused of stealing almost $300,000 from ABMs after a proposed plea agreement fell through. Travis Seymour was expected to plead guilty to stealing by reason of employment in relation to the theft at $295,000 from ATMs at CIBC First Caribbean International Bank. This was when he appeared before Magistrate Samuel McKinney. However, Seymour's lawyer told the court that Superintendent Clifford Daxon, the officer in charge of police prosecutions, had rejected the proposed plea deal because it didn't include any jail time. The lawyer, Ian Jupp, saying that he intended to approach the Director of Public Prosecutions, Garvin Gaskin, who was responsible for all prosecutions, with the proposal. Jupp said that Gaskin could override Daxon's position. The police are delegated to prosecute on behalf of the DPP. And Colors Entertainment and Junkanoo Organization dismissing fellow B Division critics who say the group didn't deserve its recent Junkanoo wins. Colors winning the B Division group at both the New Year's Day and Boxing Day parades. Group leader Chris Justilian says that they have stopped keeping count of their overall wins, saying it's between 30 and 40 at least. However, the leaders of fellow B groups, including the Immortals and Fancy Dancers and others, say they didn't deserve to win Colors based on their costumes. The co-leader of the Immortals, Delvin Moss, praising Colors for its music and choreography, but said its costumes fell short. Justilian, though, questioning why they are criticizing the costumes. You can read all about that in today's Nassau Guardian. Overseas, from Mexico, violence hitting the country as a stronghold of Chapo feeling the wrath now. The area thrust into a day of terror unlike any its residents had experienced since October 2019, the last time authorities tried to capture Joaquin El Chapo Guzman. Mexican President Andrés Manuel López Obrador rallied against his predecessor's aggressive efforts to capture drug lords, but his administration bagged the high-profile cartel figure just days before hosting U.S. President Joe Biden. And at least in the short terms, locals are paying the price. Residents posting videos on social media showing convoys of gunmen in pickup trucks and SUVs rolling down boulevards in the city. At least one convoy included a flatbed truck with a mounted gun on the back. All entrances to the city have been blocked, and similar acts were playing out in other parts of Sinaloa. Religious leaders calling for peace in the area. The municipal government warning residents not to leave their homes. Human rights activists describing the situation as tense, with some looting at stores as well. And people believe the convoys, or report that the convoys of men are driving through the streets and attacking residents. In sports, Christian Robinson, once listed as one of Major League Baseball's top prospects, has been on a hiatus from the sport, but he's on his way back and is looking for steady progression into the majors. The Hangman turning heads during the 2019 season in particular, hitting well for the two teams that he participated with, including 51 RBIs and 43 runs scored, showing that he could hit for power and average. Robinson last played for the Kane County Cougars of the Midwest League, the Class A affiliate of the Arizona Diamondbacks, in 2019. Since then, he's been assigned to the Visalia Rawhide of the California League, and he's currently on the restricted list for the Diamondbacks. You can read more about his journey in today's Guardian Sports section. From the NBA, Bahamian professional player Toronto Buddy Hield picking up where he left off in 2022, turning in two great performances for the Pacers, 2 games so far in 2023. The sharpshooting guard making a case for another Nassau Guardian Senior Male Athlete of the Year award so far in 2 games. He was averaging 21.5 points per game on 48.5% shooting from the field. He's the NBA leader in made 3-pointers this season, and he sunk 10 3-pointers in 2 games for the Pacers in 2023, shooting a blistering 47.6% from the 3-point range. In the NFL, Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin has begun to communicate in writing with his family and others who've been at his bedside since he went into cardiac arrest 3 days ago. His first question to doctors, did we win? Dr. Timothy Pritz telling reporters in a conference call from the University of Cincinnati Medical Center, where Hamlin was rushed after collapsing, that his answer to that question, did we win, was, quote, the answer is yes, Damar, you won. You've won the game of life. Hamlin remains critically ill, though, and in hospital's intensive care. But he began to wake up Wednesday night, and it appears his neurological function is intact, meaning he can follow commands and move. The developments coming as the Bills return to practice Thursday for the first time since Hamlin collapsed when his heart stopped after making a tackle during the game's first quarter on Monday. The game was suspended and will not be resumed, according to people familiar with the decision made who spoke to the Associated Press. Both people speaking on condition of anonymity. The NFL Players Association must approve any changes. Hamlin, a second-year player from the Pittsburgh area, spent the past 2 days sedated and is listed in critical condition. That's sports. And that's the overnight. Time for a first look at weather. In your weather for today, we've got a cold front along with its associated prefrontal activity. That's going to push through the northwest Bahamas with some cooler temperatures and breezy conditions behind it. Elsewhere, a trough near the central and southeast Bahamas will enhance shower activity across those areas today. Beachgoers should exercise caution due to the risk of rip currents at north and east coast beaches, while mariners should remain alert as there's a possibility of water spouts. For today, for the northwest Bahamas, variable cloudiness and warm conditions with a few isolated showers and a slight chance of isolated thunderstorms through this afternoon. Mostly cool and breezy with a slight chance of a few sprinkles tonight. Smallcraft caution comes in effect for boaters this afternoon after the frontal passage. Smallcraft should also be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. Winds light and variable, becoming northerly at 15 to 20 knots after the frontal passage this afternoon. Seas 3 feet or less ahead of the front, building up to 4 to 6 feet after the front passes this afternoon. For the central southeast Bahamas, partly cloudy and warm with a few showers and the chance of thunderstorms. Through tonight, expect breezy conditions in the southeast Bahamas. Smallcraft caution in effect for the southeastern islands. Winds easterly at 10 to 15 knots, falling light and variable at times in the central, and easterly at 15 to 20 knots in the southeast Bahamas. Seas 2 to 4 feet in the Central Islands, but 4 to 6 feet in the Southeastern Islands. 71 degrees under fair skies right now in Nassau. Look for highs getting up to around 84 Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius. Overnight lows tonight getting down to a cool 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. That's your first look at weather this morning. We'll have an extended outlook coming up after traffic in just a bit. It's time for a break, but when we come back, we're discussing today's top stories right here on Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9, your home for fresh news and smart talk all day.
Tired of banks forcing you to use technology to bank the way they want you to? Your convenience is important. So no matter what your banking needs, Commonwealth Bank's friendly staff are always available in branch for that personal one-on-one service. But when you choose technology, our online and mobile banking app offers you state-of-the-art functionality. The choice is yours. Commonwealth.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
Wake up today. Wake up, it's a new day. It's the start of a new way. You know that it's the start of the end of the old way. Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at MorningBlend969 or Facebook.com/MorningBlend969. Text us on the Guardian Radio text line powered by BTC 422-4796. Standard text rate supply. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan. Joining me now, Stephen Hanna.
What's
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good to see you.
That's the whole sentence. You're like, what else? Like, morning.
Happy birthday. Well, yesterday was your birthday. We wished you happy birthday on the show.
Yeah.
How was it?
I mean, I went to the gym. I spent the day editing.
Oh, dear.
You know, exciting things.
That's very sad. So you plan to celebrate this weekend, then?
Nope.
Which birthday was this?
36.
Whoa, we're getting old.
I mean, I've been old from 25. No, the world don't give you nothing. This horrible world. Like, this terrible world we live in.
Oh, you are depressing everybody.
Although, you know what? I should have asked, because I wanted to know who all gives out free stuff on your birthday. I guess I'll have to do it next year.
I mean, who does that?
There are people who used to give you free breakfast on your birthday. Papa Sid's used to do it. I don't know if they still do it. And then, apparently certain persons used to give you a free donut if it was your birthday. I don't know. But, I realized I should have asked Erin. Erin would know. So I'll ask her when she comes in.
Erin Green. Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, sorry. I also spoke at a conference.
Oh, well, that's exciting.
Briefly.
Yeah. You want to tell us about that?
Sure. It's the Shakespeare International Theater.
What's that?
Sorry, 1 second. Let me pull up the Shakespeare Theater Association Conference 2023.
That's an international event?
It's an international event.
Where was it happening?
It is happening.
Where is it happening?
In the Bahamas.
In the who?
In the Bahamas.
In the what?
In the Bahamas.
Oh, so this was an exclusive event that only certain people were allowed to know.
Well, if you're a part of the Shakespeare Theater Association, then
I see.
Then you would know. But yeah,
that would have been a nice thing for people to know what's going on here.
Well, it's still happening.
Or it is going on here.
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's beautiful. All right.
Would you like to attend?
I mean, if I'd known. But okay, great. It's beautiful. So you had an interesting day.
I suppose one supposes these things.
Yes, that's beautiful.
You know.
Well, happy birthday again. Wishing you many, many more.
Right, and that's not. Today is the 1 year anniversary of the passing of Sydney, right? Or is it 1 year? It's been more than 1 year.
Was it on the 6th?
I think it was on the 6th. Let's find out.
All I remember was the madness in Washington, D.C. That day will always be associated with that now.
I don't know what you're talking about. What happened?
With the mayor coup they tried to have.
Which country this is?
Okay, now you're playing. Anyway, great to have you with us as always. Coming up this morning, folks, in our 8 o'clock hour, we're going to be our Safe and Sound series. We're going to be talking about security forecasting. I don't know what that is, but we're going to find out and why that's important. And then later in One One Business, we are talking with the Petroleum Retailers Association. They are saying that they can't do this any longer unless there is a change.
No, January 6th.
Which one?
Sydney. What do you mean? Which one? It's like I'm talking about.
What happened?
Yes, the passing of
with Congress.
One of the greatest Cat Island natives.
I prefer to remember people's birthdays.
Well, yeah. When is his birthday then? Go ahead.
You really are. In your old age, you need to do better.
Because you guys don't know his or Calvin Lockhart's birthday, so why bring it up?
I barely remember mine. But anyway, that's
Calvin knows in March, I think.
Okay.
And to Sydney is February 20th. If you care to write it down,
I'll remember it.
You guys won't celebrate that either. So
really. I hope next year for 37 you are a better person. But anyway, let's begin with what else is in the news. This man.
Sorry,
people out on
sorry, it's actually October 18th.
Which one?
Calvin Lockhart's birthday. His death was in March 29th. Because for some reason I remember
something's wrong with you. That's what it is, right? You need help.
I remember
every time we have a psychologist in there, they say they want to talk to you.
Yeah, but that's
because some things. Why are you dwelling on these?
They get it. Well, it's hard.
You need counseling. Maybe I'll give you that as a birthday gift.
Okay.
A year of counseling to get you on the right track.
I feel like we all do, so you know what? I have no problem.
Especially you. Okay. So the big story, the big headline of the National Guardian, Prime Minister intervenes in Freeport layoffs. The container port had said they were going to lay off some folks, at least 20 people, and the Prime Minister and other cabinet ministers stepped in and got that decision reversed.
Great.
Our Travis Cartwright Carroll writing about it. The Freeport Container Port yesterday reversed a decision it made to lay off 20 employees after Prime Minister Phil Davis intervened. The announcement coming shortly after PLP Chairman Fred Mitchell, who is also the Minister of Foreign Affairs, held a press conference in Freeport, Grand Bahama, lambasting the decision, lambasting the company for terminating the employees while so many Grand Bahamians are still recovering from Hurricane Dorian. Mitchell said that he and Prime Minister Davis and Ginger Moxie, the Minister for Grand Bahama, and the Minister for Labor, Keith Bell, held a phone call yesterday morning to discuss the layoffs. He said the government received a letter from the Freeport Container Port, FCP, on Wednesday, advising that 20 employees will be terminated effective December 31st, 2022. The letter was dated December 28th, but they got the letter on Wednesday. And Mitchell said, quote, the city seemed to be just catching a break and on an upward trajectory, and for these developments to happen just seems unfortunate and shocking to me. The fact is that this community needs to grow and develop, and it needs all of its commercial entities, all entities, private and public, to pull together for the success and upward movement of this community. It is really disappointing, these developments. There does not seem to be any reason for this, particularly since during the pandemic, shipping companies made a fortune. A fortune. You cannot tell me that because you have some reverses in recent times that make up for all of the profits that were made during the time of the pandemic, it comes off as
unconscionable and certainly contrary to all the best efforts that everyone is seeking to make to try and have this community succeed. Mitchell said the company's initial decision to terminate the employees was made because business fell off by 30% in recent months. Well, okay. So let's get your reaction. I saw that someone posted a little survey on Twitter asking if they think that the government should intervene in private companies' business affairs. What's the problem? Yeah, I don't think the answer should be 100% no or 100% yes. I mean, it depends.
I doubt that the government will interfere if, let's say, the Guardian was to lay off somebody.
You're right.
I'm just saying, right. So,
well, it depends. But sure, that's fine. Let's do that.
I would love to.
But yeah. So, but people, I think most people will agree. Well, I suspect will think this is a good thing. But
I mean,
will there be like a negative consequence as a result of this? Will we do something that would be more harmful to the employees? Potentially, like, okay, well, we can't offer this and that and that.
Not those 10.
We have to drop insurance. We have to drop bonuses. We have to drop all these other things.
But once again, that is the way of the capitalists. So that was going to happen anyway. I'm just saying, if you work for a company that does that, then don't be surprised that is going to happen at some point anyway. Like they'll be ever looking for an excuse. But the first thought that came to my mind when I heard it was, did they give a reason for laying these people off, or was it just like, we just laying these people off because
business was down 30%?
Okay, and that was the reason. Okay, so I understand why the government would step in, right? Because it's not like these people are horrible employees. It's like, oh no, we just decide to, if we fire these people, we could still make the same amount of money and we wouldn't have to pay them. And that's honestly kind of selfish.
Okay. Well, let's get your viewpoint on it. Folks, call in.
I will tell you this. You know who they're going to get the most value out of the paycheck for, out of all their employees? Those people. You know why? Because those people are going to be like, because everybody's going to be like, oh, Stephen was supposed to get fired. The Prime Minister step in. And I feel like my MP could be like, nah, don't mess up. So like I could be slacking around. I feel like they're going to get double the amount of...
Who would say that around here? Right? You can't touch me. You can't touch me because if you try to fire me again, I'm going to call my MP and say...
No, that was one call. You only get one. And some people use you get one call.
I don't know, where did you get that from? Which handbook is that?
It's in the handbook.
Several people have clearly 9 calls. They're like cats.
Yeah, but those people aren't... That's not their MP they're calling. They're politically connected. When you have more than one call, you're politically...
Same thing?
No.
What?
As a constituent, you get your one call.
I mean, you don't know who they are.
Maybe you're right. Maybe you're politically
right. Yeah, I don't know.
No, this is their one call.
It may not be that at all. I don't know why you use that into this conversation. This is just good-hearted people looking out for the people of Grand Bahama.
Yes.
Right.
I've never said any of that. No. This isn't as a politics thing. I'm just saying, like, I don't think those people are going to turn around and be like, oh, you can't touch me. I literally think they're going to be the opposite. They're going to be the most productive.
There were 2 or 3 people I would maybe agree with you, but 20, you can't swear for 20 people.
I feel like we can swear for at least 18. 2 of them might have been like, y'all luck out and y'all just get dry. Y'all are supposed to get fired. Maybe 2.
Oh, okay.
But like 18 of them, they're going to be the best employees ever.
Let's hope. 323-6232. 325-4316. Give us a call. Text us 422-4796. Tweet us at morningblood969 or facebook.com/morningblood969.
Oh, just to reiterate, I'm happy for this because sometimes people don't hear.
You're hard to read sometimes, yes.
Oh, you know.
Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. You know, see, if you had him celebrating the moment he was conceived day, instead of the moment he came plunging out into this wilderness day, he might have been more happy to celebrate it.
But what did he know, though? What did he know?
Well, yeah, that he would probably be more attached to because that was before the other.
I don't
anyway, no.
I don't think that's
There's something else before we go down that rabbit hole.
No, you're conceived after you're born.
No, let's not do this. What are we going to say about what we're talking about right now?
Oh boy, no, you were conceived before you were born.
No. You don't become who you are.
The Twilight Zone.
No,
but anyway, let's do this like this.
I'm still dreaming, right?
Birthday gift.
I'm still dreaming.
Go ahead.
I think I'm still asleep. I think I'm... Hey, continue now. Yes, I agree.
Okay, may I continue?
Yes.
Go ahead.
Okay. The gift that we can get for you is this. Now, the Israelis invented this about maybe 20 years ago, and it's called Truster. And you see it at truster.com. But when you go, how you know you're there? The minute you put in truster.com, you're going to be redirected. Once you're being redirected, you're onto something. Now, here's what it does.
I would not visit that website.
Sorry?
I would not visit it.
Tell us what it does, really quickly.
What it does is you record the person saying something that is true. And you know it's true because you'll ask them questions like 1 + 1, they'll say it's true. And that recording is remained in memory. And then you ask them something that's a lie. And you can tell. You can actually do it well with playing back recordings that politicians have spoken years ago. You'll have fun with that. And maybe if the corporation can invest in that, you can print the results in the newspapers.
Okay.
Got it?
Okay. All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yeah. Let's read some of the text messages. This person says here, we must now ask what the government gave up in exchange for those employment re-engagements. Always secrecy, no freedom of information in our governance.
Did they put that in all caps? The freedom?
No.
Because there was emphasis on your end.
No, it's just me. You think that's what happened? Perhaps that's what's happened. I don't know. I mean, do you think, or is it just like, hey, y'all can't do this. We're just trying to get the place back together. Was this really necessary? Can't you be patient? Won't that get better?
Well, I do think that just the fact that I feel like the Prime Minister showing up should be enough. I don't feel like the Prime Minister needs to lay anything on the table. All right? And once again,
well, you're the one who's always criticizing the capitalists. You don't think someone will take an opportunity to say, well, if I do this...
No, that's part of my sentence.
Right.
That's why my sentence is like, if we... I would pray in my heart that we do not live among such horrible, evil monsters, that the first thing that comes to their mind, well, if you want them to come back, where's the blood? Because that's how they'd sound. They'd have to sound like that. Like, we want a pint of blood. So... my whole thing is, I refuse to believe that. And I'm like, no, it couldn't be
voice, but suspect something. Something was asked for.
They came out and they're like, interesting, Obi. Like Obi-Wan but Kenobi, not Obi. Wishcombe. They just happen to have the same name.
Okay, this text here. I noticed since these companies came to the country, they seek to just focus on profit. The government needs to put strict guidelines as to when to terminate employees. I think that's how they do private companies.
No, but I think that there are rules as to how you can dismiss people and under which circumstance.
Yeah, there's a notice. I don't know if that was given here, the amount of notice that was given.
Because 28 and then it's effective the 31st is 2 weeks.
Very strange. That's not how it works. But there's notice in law about how much notice you can give the government about something like a mass layoff type thing.
That you give the government, not the employee.
They would have guidelines too. They would have specific rules, right?
You could let an employee go today.
I mean, with cause.
No. Some of these contracts that we sign in don't have no cause in it. They can just let you go.
I mean, it depends on what the contracts that you have, but
right. Well, I mean,
but if they let you go today, as mean leave, but they're going to pay you for what they're supposed to pay you for.
But then some of them will argue, what are they supposed to pay you? Because they're like, we just pay you on Friday, so we don't have to pay you the 2 weeks.
Those are not sensible companies.
Oh, sure. And yet, they persist.
Someone's asking for your age because they want a number, but I think you already gave it. This one says, does anyone know the staff complement of the shipyard as Bahamian to non-Bahamian, the skills involved in the mix, and the skill level of the targeted employees? Why were only Bahamians let go? Or I don't know if that was that said. Was it said that it was only Bahamians?
We don't know who's let go.
Yeah, right. It just said that. Just said 20. Right. Yeah. I'm not sure if it was only Bahamians. Why were only Bahamians let go, or is it that Bahamians and non-Bahamians were released, but the government was only concerned with the Bahamian contingent? I find myself always having many questions beyond the information the reporters give us. The reporters get, you mean, yes? And wonder why they don't ask the questions. Oh, plenty of questions are being asked all the time.
They probably ask the questions.
All the time. Questions are being asked. You should come in the field. I'm looking for some people actually. Come and see how it is, maybe. You'll understand how secretive the MPs that you love so much, the cabinet ministers you keep putting back, how it's amazing how they do return after being what they are all the time. Come and see. Come and see, because you're getting the impression that it's the reporters causing problems in the country. No. Come and see how the folks you go and dance up all night for with pom-poms, how they are when they get in government. Come and witness it.
You good?
I can understand. Like yesterday, the road traffic and traffic police issue that we went on about yesterday, and I made another attempt yesterday to get to road traffic. These people are ignoring everything.
Yes.
Right? This is ridiculous. Nobody knows what's going on. We've got so much confusion. The fees, the left turn, nobody's saying anything. And so now you have to say, it's not just the head of the departments, right? But it goes up to the ministers.
No.
Oh, definitely. Because they're not even trying to get the information out there. So you have to blame the Minister for Transport and the Minister for National Security for that.
They get blamed because they're the only people whose names we know, right? But the thing is, the average person who's listening right now cannot tell you who's the comptroller of anything.
Well, they never speak. So why would they know?
But I'm saying,
but we know who they are, and they refuse to speak.
And they have power, and the minister makes policy. The minister is the person who signs the check. And
but often they will tell you that, I need to get clearance from the minister and the PS.
Yeah.
Right? So let's blame the top. Blame the top.
Listen,
because this doesn't make any sense.
But this is my suggestion, right? Two things. There are two things. It's really the one thing. So we know that we always complain about it. Oh, we always vote in the PLP and the F&M, and no matter what, we get the same thing. And then we fail to look at the fact that whether the PLP or the F&M is in charge, that the body of work that's being done is being done by the same people. The PSM just floating around to different ministries, right? And so sometimes the lack of movement is not actually coming from the politicians. Whether you might have a horrible minister, but you might also have a good minister. But sometimes the lack of movement inside these ministries is coming from the middle management portion of the play.
Well, I'm blaming everybody.
No, that's what I'm saying. I would never blame Fred Mitchell for the passport office, because the passport office is a problem unto itself.
And you're saying that because he's the foreign affairs minister,
right? I'm saying we know his name. I don't know the name of anybody at the passport office, but I blame the passport office for the passport office. We know the name of the person in charge of road traffic, but we don't know the person in charge of road traffic. We know the minister, but we don't know the actual day-to-day running of the road traffic. We don't know who that person is.
We do. But
I don't know.
I can tell you.
You know, though.
Yeah.
No, but the public
doesn't make a difference.
Right?
It doesn't make a difference.
Right, and
they move one out, they put one in, and it's the same garbage.
Right. And the question is, why?
Yeah. Well, because people don't name them, and we need to start. We can't reach these folks. We call, we get nonsense messages in return. We're told we have to write letters and all this stuff, and we do it, and you still are dragged around by the tail.
Emails,
right? It is ridiculous. And they're not telling us. They put out garbage, and people are confused, and there's no response to tell you, that was a mistake. Nothing at all, and we're all out here guessing.
Well, I'll tell you what the fee is, because I have to go license my car.
When you go. Or did you do it already?
Well, I'm going to.
Yeah, so we have to wait to hear what people experience.
I'll tell you. Matter of fact, I better yet. Next week Friday, I'll just call into the show. I will go through the whole process.
We'll do it live on the air.
We'll do it live on the air.
Yeah, you're sitting in your car in that long line at the stadium. We'll do it like that.
Or you know what? I won't let them know which day. It won't be Friday. So I'll just call in at the end of every hour and say, and we go back live on the scene.
That's a great idea. Why not?
How far along are you in
January, folks? Because things have changed and nobody publicized it.
Right.
And wow, what type of place is this?
And so Stephen's coming.
You just don't care, folks.
You don't know when.
Nobody cares.
He's coming.
Let's take this call. Good morning, caller over here.
Good morning, Dwight, and good morning, Stephen.
Hi.
How you doing?
Okay, I would release what happened in Freeport, the Port Authority and their dismissal.
Right.
What happened is unusual. Nevertheless, how it happened, as my history in working in auto, is the first ever time I've ever learned of something like that happening. Okay? And I recommend the government and kudos to them and what went on. Because guess what? Many times these employees would have dismissed and terminated persons and it never ever happened. Where the government is able to intervene and allow persons to come back on the job. So no matter how you question how it happened, the fact is it happened. I was a shop steward in Auto for 14 years. It doesn't matter how I remember in the Crystal Palace back in the 2000s, we walked from the hotel to the Prime Minister office out west, and persons, didn't carry on, nothing took place. So for this to happen, and this turnaround,
I think it's happened before, though. I mean, I want to say when Gibson was the Minister of Labor, Atlantis was going to do something, or it could have been the Ingram administration, but they were going to do something, and they got them not to. Yeah, they did hold back.
In the pandemic?
No, it was before that. It was a few years back. But they were about to lay off a whole lot of people.
The last week?
I can't remember which one it was, but it's not recent. It's like more than
5 years.
More than 10 years.
10 years?
Yeah. It could have been Shane Gibson as the Minister of Labor at the time, or it could have been under.
But like she said, it's not common for this stuff.
Well, it's not common, like Steven says.
But they got them to stop.
I don't feel like we should be negative about it. Just be positive. Especially in Grand Bahama. If those employees would have come up with a million reasons why they have to do what they did.
Yeah, okay.
But the situation ran at the end of the day, and everybody's job was
excellent. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. All right. This text here. I live in Freeport and personally know several of those people who were laid off at the container port. They are grateful to the government for stepping in and having that decision reversed.
I thought the tax was going in a different direction. The minute they said,
ye of faith. There's a serious quagmire going on. Quagmire of web. On at the container port in Grand Bahama. There's a cadre of employees working at the container port presently that are part of the government's 52-week program, where the government pays the full salary of those employees. I'm sure that that came up in discussion that the government was laying or paying for some workers, but the ones that the company isolated for layoff. This is a serious problem. Somebody's missing. Some of the workers of the government. Okay. So maybe they might have been part of that. That's what you're saying? Okay. This one says here, it's Stephen's birthday, not yours. What's wrong with giving his age? He did say his age. They're mad. They really want to play that number, Stephen. They got to play that number.
I mean, it's too late.
He's 36 now.
Okay, why are you saying it too?
Because they're on the edge of the seat shaking because they got to know the number. Okay.
All right.
Wow. Okay. Now that the container port threatened to release 20 employees and the government stepped in to help them, we thank them. But yes, what is given up by our government, I would like to know.
You know what I want? I want the same level of critical awareness and critique every time you go to any store in this country. Because we really be going in stores where there are birds in the aisle eating rice and pooping on things. Birds are the lot. You think roaches are bad? Do you know how many diseases birds carry?
What did you bring this up for?
I'm just saying, because the level of, I want to know what they gave up. And if they gave up nothing, then what? You probably still wouldn't believe it. What is happening? But, here's the thing. By all means, be critical. I'm not going to dismiss your criticalness. I want you to be this critical everywhere. Don't just be this critical to 40 people who we gave them a coat suit to wear and tell them go parade around like peacocks on Bay Street.
No.
Give it to the people who every day say, I can't pay you no Christmas bonus because I only made $50 million this year. and so I can't give you nothing. You want me starve? You want me eat domestic caviar as opposed to imported caviar? It's all imported. We don't have caviar in the Bahamas. What you talking about?
You'd be surprised.
I would be surprised. These animals probably are eating grouper roe for Christmas dinner. Filthy animal demons. But anyways, the whole point is, be this critical with all of your masters, not just the ones that are temporary. Be this way with all of your masters.
Okay, we'll come to you in a second. This person says here, I don't think it's a matter of being negative. What we want to know is what were the demands from the container port in order to keep these employees on. It is welcome news that jobs are saved and more families won't have to suffer, though. Yeah. I think that's a great text. Everyone agrees. Well, most will agree with that. This person says, Dwight, it's a slippery slope when governments that are not transparent or accountable make decisions or overtures with foreign investors behind closed doors, when profits and the bottom line is a subject matter. But it's interesting that the petroleum dealers have been clamoring for months now, but it just shows the difference in respect and what action does when it's a foreign entity, But they probably gave them some more work permits to keep them happy. That always works. Yikes. This person also remembers what I was talking about. Yeah, I think it was around 2000. It might have been around the Great Recession time. No, it can't be 2000. 2010. Anyway, when Atlantis was going to lay off some people, I think it was 2000, around just after the recession. They were really going to lay off a lot of people. Because 2000 we were gearing up before the great opening of Atlantis, and everybody was very happy. 1999 and 2000 for the new millennium. Remember? Let's take this call. Good morning, caller on the air.
Good morning, Dwight. Good morning, Stephen.
Hi.
Wonderfully, Stephen. Excellent idea. I really love that idea. Would you get from behind the chair and take your cameras behind you, a couple of these government offices, and really show what's going on. That's action. That is the way you.
That's not quite what he was suggesting, but we were just trying to get some information out of road traffic.
I think he should do that. He should do that. Maybe some of these people is politics off. And Dwight, it's 10 years now, going plus 10 years now. I have listened to your show, right? And I really, I'm a on-the-ground critic, right? I was trying to find something to pin on you when it comes to your show in terms of your ability, right? But man, I can't find nothing. You understand me? You could read it for news. I ain't even never hear you make no mistake, right?
Well, what's going on there? You got your hearing checked, but that's great. But thank you for that, Bill.
Well, you never make no mistake, man. In that area of your A++. Now, I agree with the last caller, Pat. I think that's Pat. Or whatever she name. I agree with her. To me, it really don't matter too much what really going on with those workers. I know one thing for a fact. He ain't going to tell me this. Our Prime Minister of this country, he ain't going to stand up for no foreign workers. So obviously, he had to go on behalf of Bahamian workers.
Yep.
You understand? And the problem...
Well, not publicly, I guess.
That's his job is for us.
Right, not publicly. You wouldn't know about it if he did.
Well, but he ain't going to stand up for no foreign workers. And I think what he did, he went there, and if they was laying off any Bahamian workers, he probably told them, listen, before you can lay off my people, you got to lay off them people first. I think that's what he did.
Okay, interesting. Boy. Oh, no, not this again. Folks, can we stop this?
What happened?
This person says, on a serious note, I don't know why we don't sell Grand Bahama or Freeport and get it over with. Please stop that. Stop that. We haven't even begun to tap into the potential of Grand Bahama. Do you all understand this? This is not the problem.
I don't think they are. That's seriously.
No, I hear this all the time. Someone just last week said, well, we need to give it to the Americans. Are you serious? What is wrong with us?
I mean, Freeport would love that.
Would they? No, we are really blowing it. We're blowing it. The potential for Grand Bahama and Abaco and so many other islands. We just need to unleash these chains.
All of the islands.
All the islands.
What are you talking about?
Except New Providence, as long as it doesn't have local government. The chains need to be release them. from the evil colonizer of New Providence.
We're not.
Oh my gosh! Well, that's what it is.
It's not.
Let them loose.
No, because what you actually extract wealth from your colonies.
Well, they certainly do. They do. All they do is take taxes and don't put it back in.
We're not as much as we could.
Okay, so
it's not effective.
They're taking money. The people are giving tons of money.
They're
not getting anything back. They're not. They've put it all on the port to do everything, and then what is that? A company, not elected officials.
Right. Which
this is madness. Right? You were talking about profit earlier, right? A company is going to be looking for that.
Right.
But this doesn't make sense.
Yeah. Did you see the video of it was a video where there's there's a TikTok trend where you surprise the person, you give them two options and they pick an option to say they're gonna go to
usually both are good.
Right. But then inside this situation is if Freeport had this version and everything that the person picked is a dilapidated closed down building, oh, do you want to go to R&D cinemas? And they go there and it's shuttered up. And they're like, oh, do you want to go to...
this is a real video?
Yeah, do you want to go to the bazaar? And it's him and his wife is sitting at the bazaar and it's completely destroyed. And they're like, oh, you want to go to this other...
Graham Hagen did this video? Oh, it's really... see, they're hurting folks.
No,
mentally,
they are hurting. But this is what happens when, profit is the most important thing, as opposed to people.
And they've got Masuvians and other Bahamians saying foolishness like this. This is very sad.
But because that attitude to just sell it when I feel that's the quickest way to make a buck is also what's holding us back in life, because people do the same thing.
No, they don't be responsible for it anymore.
Yeah, but think about it. How many times inside the Bahamas somebody Grammy dead, and the first thing the parents do or the children do is let's sell it. And they sell it for the cheapest amount of price. Like the property.
Oh, okay.
The house. Grammy house. They sell Grammy house as opposed to saying, well, let's just keep it because it's 5 of us. How we can split that? Or whatever money we make off of renting it, we split it 5 ways. I want the money now. I'm saying.
Visual example.
No, it's not. But I'm saying from there, that's a micro version of what ends up happening being, oh, well, Grandma ain't doing nothing. No, they ain't giving us nothing.
Yeah, I don't think they're talking about money. They just don't want it to be
no, but I'm saying the idea where it's you sell it off to get rid of it.
Yeah.
Because I don't take care of Grammy House.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm saying, so it starts on an individual level.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is.
Put in the year of work, and then we can have this forever.
Let them work.
No. I'm saying
do it.
Yeah.
And let us work on us.
But that's the year of work.
Let the other people work on themselves.
That's the year of work that we
how it works everywhere else in the world.
But and then once again,
even in China, do you hear that? How the government there is pleading for the provincial leaders to do certain things as well because they do have some autonomy. They do.
That's because if they're gonna completely collapse. They've reached.
Okay, I'm just saying, everywhere, even in different models, not democracies, this happens. But why do we want the emperor in Nassau to fix everything all over?
Good, sir.
All over the country, right? In other places, what would have happened here is the governor might have made a call.
Yeah.
Say, hey, and that would work too.
Right.
Because the governor can do some things.
And I promise you.
And that would not need to become a national issue.
And the councillor probably was aware of it as well.
Okay. Caller, good morning. You're on the air.
Are you saying the thing?
Good morning, Dwight.
Hi, good morning.
And good morning to you, Steve. Happy birthday, my brother.
Thank you.
Blessings. Dwight, it's interesting that you had the director of labor on, when was that, yesterday?
Yes.
The issue in Freeport or even in our past, I heard a lady mention Crystal Palace, where I think the government still owed some money. Some project in Grand Bahama, the same thing. I don't think it should be so easy for an entity, human-owned, operated, or otherwise, to what appears to be in some instances carelessly impact us as a country. Because when people lose jobs, social services in instances has to step in and we are supposed to take care of our fellow men. But if the Department of Labor, for example, a company comes to or says that they're releasing employees, the Department of Labor has, I think, an obligation to assess, and especially companies that have people here on work permits, with, in some cases, ridiculous salaries, make it mandatory, and I don't know if that's in our law, to justify the presence of some individuals versus making it so easy to dismiss behemoth, especially if you're going to continue to operate your business in this country. He even spoke about profitability and people doing some of the things that they do just to maintain a certain mark. Well, if that's at the expense of John Q. Bahamian taxpayer, then I think we should be a little bit more mindful insofar as allowing these things to happen. We have the government agencies, not the Prime Minister. I think Labour should have gone into these people and say, well, if you're letting these payments go, I need to know who you have here and work permit. Let me see their salaries. Bring immigration into that instance as well. What special skills do these people have versus the folks that you want to let go, and who can fill in here versus keeping these people but letting my citizens go? What do you guys think about that?
That makes a lot of sense. Absolutely.
And hopefully that's what happened.
Thank you. It doesn't.
I doubt it.
Unfortunately, it doesn't. Yeah. But I appreciate you on the contribution.
Thank you very much. Appreciate it. As we get ready to go to break, a couple things. A couple people texting in. This is 636 in 20 houses.
Fell yesterday.
That was the number on 036 fell yesterday, or 063 fell last night. Stephen, you could have been a big.
I mean, I don't play numbers.
A contender. I don't know. Okay, well, there you go. Oh, boy.
You know why?
Why you don't play numbers?
Yeah. Because. Anyway, never mind.
That sounds like it's going to be a long story.
Not long.
No? Let's take this call really quickly, and then we've got to take a break. Good morning, call. You're on the air.
Hey, morning, Dwight. Morning, happy belated, Stephen.
Hi, good morning.
Dwight. The last caller, you couldn't say it any better, okay?
Yes.
You may have expatriate, and then the salary, you will have to expatriate and the salary, the total 20%, okay? So you must look at the salary of the expatriate before you lay the payment off. And the government in the future, when they sign these agreements, right, they must say that layoff or payment must be the last choice. Okay, that should be put in the head of payment. Okay, the last choice. Okay, so I told you good the last caller. He's spot on, and I couldn't say it any better. Thank you, guys. Have a good day.
Thank you. Appreciate it. All right. So I'm going to break. But before we go, so if we mentioned one of these towards the end of last year, but all the big dictionaries have come up with their words of the year. Did you see these? Oxford with goblin mode.
It's not a word.
Right, but a lot of these were terms, I guess, phrases. But goblin mode, unapologetically self-indulgent, lazy, greedy. Merriam-Webster was gaslighting. You did hear that a lot.
These are words that they're trying to get rid of?
No, these were the words of the year.
Oh, I thought, no.
Words of the year.
And not new words.
No.
Okay, because I was like, gaslighting has been around from the 1940s.
Words of the year, 30s, actually.
No, is that when the film came out? No, the film didn't come in the 30s.
Yep.
That was a talking film.
Yeah, we had them in the 30s.
Well, I lied. Sorry, it might have been earlier than that because there was a play first, right?
But the play was in the 30s. Yeah.
Right, the play.
But yeah. And act of grossly misleading someone for one's own advantage. Could have been 40. Anyway. And Collins Dictionary, their word of the year is permacrisis. The feeling of living through a period of war, inflation, political instability.
Forever.
And did you hear what the Bahamian Dictionary word of the year was?
That's not a real thing.
Words.
Not a real thing.
Yeah. Whore divorce. Whore divorce. It's two dictionaries, two definitions apparently. When your paid companion ain't into your things anymore, or it's often edible apparently treats for adults at Christmas gatherings.
Neither of those are the correct definition. So
that's what it is.
1940. Four is the film,
and the play was
1938.
Right. Yeah. All right, there you go. This morning blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. We'll be back. Stay with us.
People are rising up, keeps them lining up. We gon' bring it back to me. People are lining up, girls them winding up. Girl roll like bongi like it's somewhere. Oh, all of that. Ain't nothing holding me back. So I can't let get them know that feeling. This truck cut you, I can throw it back. It's going down out on there.
96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
I'm Ed Donahue with an AP News Minute. Doctors say Buffalo Bills safety Damar Hamlin has shown remarkable improvement. Hamlin suffered cardiac arrest after making a tackle during a game Monday night in Cincinnati. Dr. Timothy Pritz at University of Cincinnati Medical Center says Hamlin has started to wake up.
And it appears that his neurological condition and function is intact.
He says Hamlin was able to communicate by writing. He cannot speak because of a breathing tube in his throat.
He still has significant progress that he needs to make. But this marks a really good turning point in his ongoing care.
Pritz credited the work of the Buffalo Bills medical team.
This went as well as something like this could go under very challenging circumstances. And they did a fantastic job, which is why we're here today.
This comes as the Bills prepare to play Sunday, and with the team still dealing with the shock of seeing their teammate collapse on the field. I'm Ed Donahue.
It's time for your first look at traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialist can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. In your real-time traffic at this hour, as usual, we've got Mile Butler Highway, your hotspot this morning. Heavy traffic from Fire Trail all the way up to Tonic Williams Darling Highway, northbound lanes. Glassing Road also busy for you northbound this morning. And then we've got a number of spots along Carmichael Road. Heavy westbound traffic to Coral Harbor Road, eastbound to the junction with Mile Butler Highway, and eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Blue Hill Road is also busy for you, especially from Carmichael up to the roundabout with Independence Drive, especially north of Soldier Road. Then we've got Prince Charles Drive seeing major issues at the major intersections and near Elizabeth Estates. And then as we get to Robinson Road, seeing some congestion there. Burnett Road as well, westbound this morning. That's what we're looking at. That's your first look at traffic, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist. And we've got another look at weather, brought to you by John West Shoes. In your extended outlook, we've got that cold front that's moving in. That's going to move in tonight and then going to make its way across the central Bahamas on Saturday, become stationary while high pressure builds behind it. So for Saturday, variably cloudy and breezy with a few scattered showers and a chance of isolated thunderstorms. Sunday, partly cloudy and a bit breezy with a chance of a few scattered showers. This weather track brought to you by John West Shoes. Nassau John West is here to put shoes on your feet. We've got your family's feet covered for every occasion. Check out the variety of women's sandals and slippers, heels and working shoes, men's sneakers and safety boots available as well. Now open in the Carmichael City Shopping Center behind Wendy's. Call them 820-9715. Let John West put shoes on your feet.
Thanks so much for joining us.
Welcome back to Morning Blend here on Guardian Radio 96.9. We're streaming live on GuardianTalkRadio.com and on the Guardian Radio app for smart devices. We're also on your televisions on Cable Bahamas Channel 969 and BTC Flow Channel 612. You can tweet us at Morning Blend 969 or Facebook.com/Morning Blend 969. Text us 422-4796. And now at 8:17, it's time for another check of your weather for today, brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. We've got a cold front, along with its associated prefrontal activity. That's going to be pushing through the northwest Bahamas and will bring some cooler temperatures and breezy conditions. Elsewhere, a trough near the central and southeast Bahamas will enhance shower activity over that portion of the country today. So for today, for the Northwest Bahamas, your forecast calls for variable cloudiness and warm conditions with a few isolated showers and the slight chance of isolated thunderstorms through this afternoon. Mostly cool and breezy with a slight chance of a few sprinkles tonight as that front moves through. Small craft caution comes into effect this afternoon after the frontal passage, and small craft should exercise caution, should be alert for gusty winds and higher seas in or near heavy showers or thunderstorms. For the central and southeast Bahamas today, partly cloudy and warm with a few showers and the chance of thunderstorms through tonight. Expect breezy conditions in the southeast Bahamas. Temperatures today ahead of that front going to be high and hot and 84 degrees Fahrenheit, 29 Celsius, but cooler after the front moves through, lows getting down to about 64 Fahrenheit, 18 Celsius. In your extended outlook for the weekend, that cold front is expected to move into the central Bahamas by tomorrow and then become stationary while high pressure builds behind it. So for Saturday, variable cloudiness and breezy conditions with a few scattered showers and the chance of isolated thunderstorms, mainly across the central and southeast Bahamas. Small craft caution in effect for boaters. Sunday, partly cloudy and a bit breezy with a chance of a few scattered showers. Small craft caution will still be in effect for the islands south of the extreme northwest Bahamas. That's your morning blend weather check brought to you by Bahamas First Insurance. Visit firstonlineinsurance.com and select a Bahamas First agent to purchase, pay, or renew your car or home insurance 100% online, or to stop by any Bahamas First agent. Bahamas First, celebrating 40 years as the Bahamas' first general insurance company. What's first for you comes first for us. And time for another check of traffic for this morning, brought to you by RBC. RBC's mortgage specialists can provide helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. A reminder of the work going on Glaston Road that's taking place mainly at nights and for the next few weeks. It's going to be usually 9:30 p.m. to 3:30 a.m. That's the paving work from Glaston Road to JFK Drive. On Glaston Road from JFK Drive to Carmichael. And you're advised to avoid the area if you can. Only residents will be permitted entrance during the work hours. Right now, in your real-time traffic, Glaston Road is busy for you. Just north of Fire Trail, you see that heavy traffic on your way to JFK Drive. Milo Butler Highway, also another hot spot for you this morning. Heavy traffic from Fire Trail up to the Tawnique-Williams-Darling Highway roundabout. And Tawnique-Williams-Darling Highway seeing traffic in multiple directions, eastbound to that roundabout, westbound to that roundabout, and even southbound on Milo Butler Highway to that roundabout. Further up at the six-legged roundabout, you're seeing some heavy traffic on the JFK side, eastbound to the roundabout, and southbound on New Providence Highway as well. And further up on New Providence Highway, as you approach the roundabout with Saunders Beach, you'll be seeing heavy traffic coming at you from eastbound on West Bay Street, approaching the roundabout, and out of the roundabout eastbound to Arawak Key. Carmichael Road westbound, heavy traffic on the way to Coral Harbor Road, and eastbound to Blue Hill Road. Independence Drive seeing some heavy traffic both directions, east and westbound, between the roundabouts at East Street and Blue Hill Road. Then we've got Robinson Road seeing some congestion between Soldier and Old Trail, and pockets along Prince Charles Drive, westbound mainly, and Bernard Road westbound, and Eastern Road just west of Fox Hill up to Johnson Road, and Village and Soldier northbound, and Marathon also seeing some congestion. So a lot you're going to have to deal with this morning, but that is your real-time traffic and your Morning Blend traffic alert, brought to you by RBC. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with an RBC mortgage specialist.
RBC
RBC believes your journey to home ownership is unique, whether it's your first home, equity on an existing home, or a new home. So your mortgage financing should also reflect your individual needs. That is why at RBC, we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with a mortgage specialist. Reimagine how you bank with RBC.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
At Wendy's, we are different. We don't just use beef. It's fresh, never frozen. Our burgers are square because we never cut corners. Served hot off the grill with fresh lettuce, tomatoes, onions, and American cheese. We believe in fast food done right. Always serving fresh, never frozen beef. Order a hot, juicy Dave single, double, or triple. Made with fresh, never frozen beef. Now only at Wendy's. Different inside and out.
Fidelity, we're good for you. With so much going on in the world today, only accepting cash at your business can be risky. Let Fidelity offer you and your customers safety, convenience, and the flexibility of a fixed or mobile terminal. Take it with you, on the move and on the go, because business should never stop. For more details, speak to one of our business development officers at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport. Visit our website at fidelitygroup.com or visit us at any of our branches. Fidelity, we're good for you.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
People are rising up, the goods them lining up. We gon' bring it back to Bombay. We bout to line it up, girls them winding up. Girl roll that bongi like it's spring play. Oh, I got that feeling. Ain't nothing holding me back. So I tell all the girls them, I got that feeling. This junk canoe got me throwing it back. It's going down out on bed. From far away, our vibes on overload, and everything exposed. We've been waiting all day for this parade. Oh, I got that feeling.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna.
I can't believe you're picking sides, Dwight.
I don't know what you're talking about. I don't even
Colors
introduce
is in
that.
that song, and it says Junkanoo, and so clearly you're picking sides.
I didn't even hear
it's
that.
It's an ongoing dispute.
So you, well, okay, but that's not what that was about. But but I mean, it is interesting the back and forth with the B groups. Yeah, I mean, when Genesis was a B group, didn't they beat Colors?
That's literally what Colors said.
Mm-hmm.
Colors said that.
So they are beatable. And maybe Genesis should consider going back to B. Yeah. But so just step it together or join forces. Although I think you become big enough to be an A group A if you do that.
So this is my thought.
Can you just be a B group? Just want to be a B?
Yeah. So anybody
even
who
if you have 1,000 members,
you can. You just have to not put 1,000 members out at the same time.
Oh.
You just have to put. I think it's 200 or less.
The Genesis people are upset now.
They should. They know where to find you, Dwight. And they know where to find you.
I've been warned. Watch your flipping mouth.
Oh, God. And they know where to find. I know that was coming.
Oh gosh. Well, that's when they last won something.
If you want it anyway, if you want to be a winning B group, I have an idea, and I'm willing to work with any B group. Make me your creative director, and you will win. I promise you. Mm-hmm. This 2023 Boxing Day Junkanoo Parade. You have to make Stephen Hanna.
You sound like you want money from it, though.
No. I'm not even asking for money. But you have to make me a creative director. You have to blindly listen to me. I will take,
or something?
No. You guys are still going to be making the costumes. You're still going to be playing the music.
So you come to you for everything? Is this feather good, boss?
I am the creative director and nothing else. All I'm going to do is I'm going to give you a vision that you could run with. Yeah, okay. And we are going to take Junkanoo to a level that the A groups will try to emulate, but they won't be able to.
Did you hear I gave it out there on Tuesday. Did you hear? I said that I want someone to do this for Boxing Day.
Yeah. And it was a it was a good idea. Not vague. It wasn't. It was a good idea.
It's spectacular.
But the problem is.
There's no problem.
The problem is.
Let's remind folks what I said. I think I want to see.
What the Bahamas going to look like in the future.
The Bahamas. No, not in the future. 50 years from now. Right. So at our 100th anniversary. Bahamas 2073.
Somebody's going to come with a giant ball of styrofoam on fire. And then just walk down.
That's just the Earth in 2073.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. That's possibly what's going to happen. Anyway, we're going to leave that right there. All right. So coming up in More Than That Business, we're going to be talking with the.
Let me be the creative director. I'm serious.
Okay.
About that.
So Steven's put that out there, and
if you want to win,
offered up Bahamas 2073 to anybody. In fact, couple groups. I'd love to see people do that. Let's see what you think the Bahamas will look like in 2073. That's an easy one, man. That's easy.
Why don't you get a B group? And I'll get a B group. Mm-hmm. And then you bring your
B group. I want to see the A groups do that one.
Sometimes you have to go with, let's go.
I have no idea what the Bahamas is going to look like in 2073. I want to see what other people think.
Yeah, no.
Look like. I don't know if we'll be here.
But
we're going to be underwater.
Creative director. I'm open, guys.
Maybe
Give me a call.
It'll look like Avatar. That's what the Bahamas will look like in 2073.
So no substance, just water.
What?
Just graphics. Oh, well, yeah, like the ads. Like
you're a horrible person. Okay, so we're going to leave that there. Coming up in Morning Business, we're going to be talking with Vasco Bastian with the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association. Right now, though, it is our monthly Safe and Sound series, and Gamal Nuri is with us from Preventative Measures. And this morning, we have an interesting topic. We're going to be talking about security forecasting. Gamal, Happy New Year. Great to have you with us, as always.
Bloop, bloop, bloop.
Happy New Year to everybody. It's good to be here. Dwight and Stephen, I hope you guys are ready for the challenges and the excitement of 2023. You're already planning a Boxing Day parade.
Right.
So you all really didn't have the whole year taken care of already.
I tell you, right? Oh, boy. Yeah, all right. So this morning we're going to be talking about security forecasting. Okay, so you got to define that for us. What exactly is that? And why should we care?
Well, at the beginning of every year, persons are planning and strategizing business, how they're going to function. And often you want to include, or you should be including, how you're going to protect your assets based on, what you're doing now, what type of resources you have now, and trends that have been occurring in the last year, 5 years, and looking towards the future and being, I guess, proactive and putting in some preemptive mechanisms to reduce the impact. For example, one loss prevention initiative, I know we talk about it every year, but it is January, but are you now considering how you're going to manage and get ready for hurricanes in June, right?
Wow.
We're now moving, we were seeing the increase in digital currencies and how they're becoming more prevalent, how you're preparing your business to not only receive those types of transactions, but also how you're going to manage instances of fraud, instances of abuse of those types of transactions. So forecasting is, hey, here I am, and what do I see my business moving towards? And how do I put in processes, procedures, people, technology to ensure that if I make $1, I at least keep $1, not making money and losing money. So that's what forecasting is all about.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so how do you do that? How do you go about doing this?
Well, in the first instance, the forecasting, you would look at, what are the trends? What are the trends? And again, this is specific to each business. What are the trends that have been impacting businesses over the last, and I use a year, but I always like to go back into 5 years. What are those trends and what are the areas or the industries that are being impacted? So if I'm in the business of manufacturing, or if I'm in the financial institutions, what has been the different types of attack vectors or methods persons are using to gain illegal entry, circumvent my protection mechanisms. So I will do that type of review. I would also see how that's impacting where I am in the Bahamas, where I am in the Caribbean, where I am in the world, and see what other similar businesses are doing. How did they respond? What type of mechanisms they put in place? Can I implement any of those in my jurisdiction? Does the law allow me to do certain things in my jurisdiction based on what perhaps a manufacturing company did in Africa, or what they're doing in Canada? Can I do the same thing here in the Bahamas? Do I have those types of resources? And certainly money plays a big role in that. Do I have the financial resources to invest in that type of protective mechanism? So like I said, you look at what's been happening. How is that trend leaning towards the Bahamas? One of the things that's an important tool that I think they're coming up with that next week, the annual crime report that the police put out. That's a very valuable tool for business, for all of us actually, but certainly for businesses to see what are the trends. And they have it broken down in the last 2 or 3 years. They've broken it down really granular into divisions. And you can see if your business is in, let's say, in the Northeast division or in the West or in Exuma, you can see what are the trends like in my location and how do I now put in strategy or develop strategy to reduce my exposure.
Do you know of companies who are actually doing that and not thinking about it on a personal level, but saying, "Oh, that means that my company could be at threat, or my customers coming in or leaving might be targeted"? Has that been put to use? Do you know?
Oh, definitely, Dwight. Definitely, Dwight. I have clients who I work with who definitely look for a security strategy and a security plan for each year. And so to validate my recommendations and my suggestions, I have to present them with statistics and numbers and data that supports, hey, this is what you need to improve upon. Now, whether they do it or not is a different question. But certainly there is some process in place to how they're gonna do it. So definitely that's in play in this jurisdiction and with my clients locally and in the region. I definitely, and that's why I wanted to talk about it, because it is a mechanism or a process that's in play without a doubt. But for me, as a consultant, or if you have your security manager who is ever responsible for the security duties, loss prevention duties, fraud duties in your business, they should now, or even perhaps last year, presented to the leadership of that organization. Hey guys, this is what's been happening. We see an increase here. We see an increase in fraudulent documents. We see an increase in cyber incidents. We see an increase in just breaches or employee theft, things of that sort. And this is what we need to do to reduce those or to close those gaps. And here are my recommendations. We need to do more training. We need to invest in more technology. We just probably need to put a guard at that location to check and validate badges as they come through. So it is definitely happening, without a doubt. Mm-hmm. Without a doubt, it is happening.
Yeah, I know we've talked about it before on the show. I know you offer these services. Just want to know how many companies take advantage of it. I'm sure it has a name. I don't know what it is. But testing protocols at businesses, having one of your folks go in, not undercover, but as a secret shopper maybe, and see how things work, what clients can get away with, customers can get away with if nobody's watching. You do that. Tell us about that. What's the technical name for it, and how many businesses take advantage of that?
Right. So it is a secret shop, but there's no real technical name. It's just a matter of testing the processes and simulations. So we do simulations, we do different types of drills, and some of them are announced and some of them are not announced. We check to see if persons are familiar with policies, if they're familiar with certain procedures. And like I said, in some instances, they are announced. So you would know that on the 24th or the 20th of January at 10 o'clock, this is going to occur. And that's announced because, again, when you deliver that type of drill or that type of check, you don't want to discourage. You also want to encourage people to understand they need to know. And if they don't know, the information is there for them to go and check it. And then, of course, on the other side, there is where you do the unannounced. So you really need to, you get in there and you don't announce that there is a check, and you see if that person or groups of persons are familiar with and are able to execute the particular procedure or regulation that's in place. Another avenue that this is done to as well, I also provide cyber awareness training. So we also test emails, email sensitivity, simulating phishing attacks and seeing if staff are still doing, it's clickbait for lack of a better word. Especially this was done in the latter portion of 2022, where everyone is getting ready for the holidays. So now you put out into a particular business where we would have sent out these emails regarding shopping discounts or some type of sale or some type of award program, and to see if staff who are aware, who are familiar with the cyber policies, are still clicking. And of course, everybody's looking, not everybody, but a lot of us are looking for a free deal or a good thing. And a lot of persons still, unfortunately, did click, and they were advised and warned that, hey, this is the policy. You see an unfamiliar email coming from an unknown or unfamiliar sender, you should not be clicking on that to win a free trip to Miami, but human nature gets the best of us, but it's about reinforcing. It's about reinforcing, and there are different ways that you do that. So that's a very good question.
When you do that, what percentage of people fall for it from what you're seeing, and how bad is it out there?
It varies based on the business, if that business is not how should I put it, email heavy. In other words, there are some purchasing and entities that have the majority of their business is conducted via email. And so I find that because it's being reinforced and they are constantly being educated on it through our cyber awareness program, the rate of click is very low in comparison to a business that does not very much technologically savvy, and their users are not constantly or usually on board with email or conducting business via emails. And you find that they click a bit more often because they're not using it as regularly as they should. So that really is those businesses that do high email or conduct a lot of their business transactions through emails, which is increasing, of course, because orders are being sent, permissions are being sent, authorizations are being sent via email, and they're now we're implementing two-factor authorization. So those businesses are a bit more resilient versus those businesses that are still getting into this digital arena.
Yeah, I mean, the scams are looking more and more authentic. I mean, it looks like a message from the IT guy often about something you need to do with your email, and it's really getting scary.
Yeah. The bait has to be attractive. The bait has to be. It has to look and feel just like the authentic message. So it is very important, and this goes back to the topic at hand. How are you sensitizing your staff to this increased transactions via the digital platforms? So 10 years ago, 15 years ago, we were still walking into the bank. I mean, the transactions were not as high intensity with the digital environment. But now we see that's changing. Everything is being done virtually. You can pay all of your bills. We communicate, and as simple as WhatsApp. If you would have been, I don't know if you guys would have seen it, but even WhatsApp in the last, I'd say 60 days, you've seen a lot of these scam WhatsApp coming in about, coming from these unknown numbers, asking you or telling you that you probably won something or trying to get information from you via WhatsApp. So all of these platforms, WhatsApp, Facebook, Instagram, the TikToks, all of these platforms are prone to attacks or what we call social engineering. Hackers coming in trying to get information from you as an individual, knowing that you have a Facebook account or a LinkedIn account, but you're also the CEO of a particular company, or you're the administrator of a particular group, and getting into you via that means, exposes the organization, because you're now intermingling your access on your social platforms with your business platforms. So things like that. This is why you need to be sensitized to what are the attack platforms or vectors being used, so that you can sensitize your staff. When I talk about security, I think a lot of times persons get locked into that guard standing them at the door. But, gone are the days where you're going to see, and let me rephrase that, the frequency of let's say, an aggressive physical attack and the amount of money that's going to be lost via that physical attack is going to be minimized, because everybody's moving to cashless. So now the robber or the criminal is now going to look for means to get access via your digital platforms.
Would you recommend for persons, because you're talking about persons using their phone and like their personal details are on the phone or whatever, and they're using it for personal use, and then their business stuff on the same phone? Would you recommend for business owners perhaps to have completely different devices for these things, just so even if you are the person who would be like, oh, what, a free iPad, let me collect that, you don't even have that type of history or thing going on this device that's solely for business? Is that something you'd recommend?
That's one method. I would recommend that you have distinct phones, one for business, one for personal use. But again, can the average business afford that? Can a business afford to give each person or team or a particular team, can they afford to give them a phone and manage that? Everybody can't do that. So if you have to use, there's a thing called bring your own device, where a lot of businesses actually encourage you to bring your own device. But what they put onto that device now are various software applications to manage and to I guess put a barrier between what you do on your personal WhatsApp to reduce the opportunity for that type of leakage or spillage over into the business applications. So yes, having a dedicated device exclusive to business is certainly one way to do it. But also, if I'm going to be using my personal device for business transactions, my employer or my business needs to put now software on that could differentiate and create a wall and a barrier between business transactions and personal transactions.
Okay.
So that's another way to do that.
All right, we're talking security forecasting with Gamal Nuri with Preventative Measures. It's our monthly Safe and Sound series. We'll be back after the break. We've got a lot more questions, and you can send your text messages as well, 422-4796, and call in 325-4316. This is Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Stay with us.
RBC believes your journey to home ownership is unique, whether it's your first home, equity on an existing home, or a new home. So your mortgage financing should also reflect your individual needs. That is why at RBC, we have dedicated mortgage specialists that provide sound advice and helpful solutions to make your dream home a reality. Best of all, the RBC mortgage team is mobile, flexible, and will meet you almost anywhere. Visit rbc.com/take 60 seconds to connect with a mortgage specialist. Reimagine how you bank with RBC.
What if I told you that the future is here? That is not some magical door we walk through, but a place we create. It's home. It's a place where you can download a 2-hour movie in seconds and stay connected to loved ones even when traveling far from home. Where internet moves at lightning speeds, smoother and more reliable than anything you've ever seen. This future-proof technology can take you to worlds that you can only imagine. The future is here. The future is home. The future is Alive Fiber.
Earning zero interest on your savings at the bank? With as little as $100, you can start earning interest on your money while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank with the CFAL Savings Express Plan. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Technology serves to make our lives better, so why not your business too? At Custom Computers, we've been maintaining our knowledge and relationships with top tech companies since 1987 and carry only the most trusted brands like Apple, Microsoft, HP, and more. No company has helped more businesses build reliable IT systems than Custom Computers. You name it, we've done it. Call 396-1101 to talk to any of our business experts. Find trust in your tech. Count on Custom Computers.
Oh, wow! What's that under the Christmas tree? Up to $1,000 cash back for you and me? 10 lucky customers get a chance to win up to $1,000 cash back this Christmas just for spending $60 and over with their Scotiabank credit card in-store or online. That's up to $1,000 cash back to spend on gifts, gas, groceries, and more this Christmas. Visit bs.scotiabank.com for more information. Promotion ends January 28, 2023. Conditions apply.
Florida Auto Parts can deliver all the auto parts your car will ever need, direct from the USA and from around the world. Florida Auto Parts provides fast delivery on auto parts, and we ship throughout the Bahamas, genuine or aftermarket, new or used, and all for the best price. Call Florida Auto Parts Trusted Parts Rep on WhatsApp at 1-786-772-8777 to save on your next auto parts purchase. Florida Auto Parts, the right parts at the right price.
This is Guardian Radio 96.9 FM. Fresh news, smart talk, all day.
We're back here with Morning Blend on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. We are talking with Gamal Nuri with Preventative Measures. It's our monthly Safe and Sound segment. Every month we talk about security issues for your business and your personal life. And this morning we're talking about security forecasting. And you can call in with your questions, 325-4316. 325-4316, or text us 422-4796. You can tweet us or Facebook us as well. Gamal, we have a question here on our text line. What would you recommend an establishment do to advertise sales, discounts, incentives to customers without reeling in bad actors?
Bad actors as in the employees?
I don't understand.
But advertise sales and not reeling in bad actors?
I don't understand the question.
Don't go into business. Because seriously, it's an interesting question. If you go into business, then you have to. It's an inherent risk that somebody is gonna be there. Somebody's gonna look to steal. It's just what it is.
You think that's what they mean by that? Okay.
If you're advertising a sale, if you're advertising new products, somebody's gonna come in there. Or somebody's going to look at that and they may not act, but then some do, but that's just the way the human nature, unfortunately. Some persons just have ill intent. The best thing to do is to put in controls, to have proper security, not just of a guard, but everybody should be a part of that security process. All of your staff say something, you see something, say something. So I would, it's just what it is. Just ensure that everybody understands what their role is in the security process. And that's from the janitress to the cook to whomever is coming into you. Even your third party providers. If you're outsourcing and you have delivery people, they should understand what the protocols are for coming and going out of your business as well. Mm-hmm. So there's no way around it of avoiding bad actors. So that's just what it is.
Yeah. Okay. Let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air. Hi. Good morning. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yes. We can.
Okay. So I just want to begin on one of the subjects regarding layoff. I think the big problem is that. We have the labor department which allow companies to lay off, but the reality is that is why we wanted to go back in the Labor Act and put it as it's supposed to be one time ago. It used to be that whatever years you work for a company, they pay you, but now it's been changed by government officials.
Okay. All right. We have actually moved on from that. We're talking about security forecasting now, but that's an interesting point. Thank you for that. Okay. If you want to talk about what we're talking about at the moment, give us a call, 325-4316. 325-4316, or text us 422-4796. All right. Any other tips that you would give to folks? As you say, New Year is a good time to take a critical look back at what was right during the last year, what went wrong. What would you suggest?
Yeah, the security manager, the director, whomever you have who's responsible for security or law, and the security is very broad when I say that. That's from loss prevention to investigators to whomever, right? They need to appreciate, and the business needs to appreciate too, that it is a partnership with other business units. So yes, I'm the security expert, but I need to have and form partnerships with HR. I need to form partnerships and be a part of the auditing process, if only the results of the auditing process, of the compliance function, of the purchasing function. I need to understand those things, have strategic partnerships with those units to ensure that I really, as a security lead, understand what it is. So I can't sit as a security expert, the security lead, in a silo and develop this grand security program for, let's say, the Guardian newspaper, and I have never spoken to anybody in sales. Right? I haven't spoken to anybody, any of the reporters or anybody in the radio. I need to understand the business to really apply an efficient and effective strategy that's going to protect the business. So I understand what the risks are, what the concerns are. I'm not sitting, and saying, oh, that's what the problem is. Here's the solution. And I don't understand the culture of the organization, and I don't have the support of the players in the organization. So you have to form strategic partnerships. It cannot be the question for the executive, the CEO or the chief operating officer when that security manager or lead presents their security plan. Did you collaborate? Did you speak with the persons in HR? Did you speak with the persons who are in the delivery department? So you really understand the full gambit of the risk that are impacting and the impact of incidents as well that the organization is up against.
Right.
So you have to make sure that you're not doing that in isolation.
Okay, let's take this call. Good morning, caller. You're on the air.
Hey, good morning, Dwight. Good morning to your guest.
Hi.
This is Dr. Lino. Right now, I'm really thinking about, we have these earthquakes that just happened in Haiti. We went through Hurricane Dorian, COVID, and I'm interested in your guest ideas about how disaster tourism or disaster response affects these security issues. So after we have hurricanes, for example, you have a major influx of people who say they're to help. Or you have a bunch of emails and calls saying, oh, we want to help or something like that. How does that change? Is there an uptick in these scams or phishing efforts or any more fraudulent things like that?
Wow.
Across industries?
Interesting.
Yes, that's an excellent question.
Thanks
and that goes exactly back to the point about forecasting. Post Dorian, in particular, you saw numerous sites, sponsor me, GoFundMe type accounts coming up, various entities coming up with their ability to support, or they want to make donations, or you can make a donation here for this effort. And it became challenging to determine which group was legitimate or illegitimate groups. So if you understand that, and you're talking about, what people we call disaster, crime, opportunities, you would understand that post disasters, or even leading up to disasters, if it's announced, like hurricanes, individuals do get on the digital platforms and they start to ask for sponsors, or they set up a page indicating that they are a victim and they need assistance. So these scams are very prevalent. And how do you filter through that? Is one of them is going through official channels, going through government agencies, making donations to government agencies or established agencies like the Red Cross, like the Salvation Army. You shouldn't be sending something to a Dorian fund or a hurricane relief fund that just popped up and there's no legitimate backing. Do your due diligence to ensure that you're aware of that. I'll give you a case in point. There was an earthquake in Japan back in, I think it was 2014-13, and they saw an influx of Chinese and Korean sites coming up, talking about supporting Japan and their recovery effort. And it all sounds good, humanitarian, we all, and it was the majority of them turned out to be scams, and millions of dollars just went poof because persons didn't do their due diligence. But that's, again, a part of understanding your culture, your risk, and what type of attacks could come towards you because of where you're placed, what's going on with you.
Okay, all right. Running out of time, but any final words of advice, tips out there for folks as we get ready to start this, or we've started this new year and looking to start off on the right foot?
Planning. I'm an old policeman, a police trainer, and failing to plan is planning to fail. So if you don't plan and organize yourself for the potential events, negative events, then you're going to act in a panic when these events occur, and you're not going to be able to survive the incident. 9/11 is a prime example of persons not planning, having the information, mind you, knowing that that the World Trade Center was targeted, and not acting on that information and not planning in advance. So you have to plan. You have to understand the environment, the culture that you're in, and develop your program with a collaborative effort to ensure that all of the stakeholders have a buy-in to what you're attempting to do. Okay. And certainly preventative measures can assist in that, in helping you to get those types of things done.
All right. And remind people how they can reach out to you.
You can reach out to preventative measures. We are on LinkedIn. We're on Facebook. You can reach out to me, Gamal Nuri, Gamal Nuri, Newry. And certainly my phone number is 357-9949. Feel free to reach out and I'll gladly assist in helping you to develop a plan.
Gamal Nuri, always a pleasure. We're going to talk with you again in a few weeks. Thank you for being here this morning. Again, Happy New Year to you, sir.
Yeah, Happy New Year to both of you guys. And, you know, I'm using you as a gauge as the year rolls because these first Fridays are just rolling away. So right? I appreciate, yeah, man. So good stuff. I appreciate letting me come in and share. And I look forward to talking soon.
Indeed. Thank you very much again, Gamal Nuri with Preventative Measures. It's our Safe and Sound series, as you said, the first Friday of every month here on Morning Blend. We're going to take a break and be back with Morning Blend Business. We're talking with Vasco Bastien with the Bahamas Petroleum Retailers Association. What they have to say now, as the pressure's on. We'll be back. Stay with us.
This is Guardian Radio, 96.9 FM, Nassau, Bahamas.
This is Guardian Radio, your station for up-to-the-minute news, intelligent, interactive, and engaging conversation. 96.9 FM. The views and opinions of the hosts and guests are their own and do not necessarily reflect the position of the management and staff of Guardian Network.
Wake up, it's a new day. Wake up, it's a new day.
Good morning and welcome to, Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Welcome back to our Morning Blend listeners. Once again, I'm Dwight Strachan along with Stephen Hanna. And this morning we are talking about the retailers, the petroleum retailers in the country, the Petroleum Retailers Association, making a big statement this week. Vice President Vasco Bastien saying how there is no more milk in the cow. And we're going to talk about that, what he means by that. And we've been following this for many, many months now. But as they warned last year, that the new year would have to bring some changes if they can't get some of the things they've been requesting from the government. And Vasco Bastien is joining us live in the studio to talk about this. Good morning, sir. Happy New Year.
Good morning, Dwight. Happy New Year to you. Happy New Year to your listeners. And Happy New Year to the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Now, the last time you were here, last year, you were a very optimistic man. I was asking you if you should be this optimistic, but you were very insistent that you believed that this was going to work out for you and your fellow retailers, but it hasn't quite panned out that way.
Dwight, I still remain optimistic. I believe in this government. I believe in the Prime Minister. I believe in the Minister of Finance, Mr. Michael Akitas. I believe in Simon Wilson, the Financial Secretary. I think they have the best interests of the petroleum dealers at heart. I think they have also have the best interests of the Bahamian people at heart. Mm-hmm. I am hoping and praying, and I'm still hoping and praying. I'm on my knees in prayer that the Prime Minister will see, and Minister Michael Akitas will see, and Simon Wilson will see the needs and the stress and the crisis and all the negative and all the bad things that the gas station operators in this country are facing. I believe in this government. I believe in Philip Brave Davis. I believe in Michael Akitas. I believe in Simon Wilson.
You're saying that twice now, so that means you really do believe.
I believe in them. Mm-hmm. I think the Prime Minister said he's the man of the people. He's the man of the poor. Gas station operators in this country are part of the Bahamian people. Mm-hmm. We have been struggling for the last several years.
Yeah.
And we want some relief, we want some help. And I believe in the Prime Minister and the Minister in good wisdom will come to our aid. I'm hopeful.
Okay, let's outline it for those who might not have been paying attention to this, what's going on and why you're feeling this crunch now more than ever before.
We all know that the government just recently announced that minimum wage just went up.
Yeah.
So minimum wage went from $2.10 to $2.60. That's a $50 increase. When you look at it, it's a 24% increase.
Yeah. And how many employees in your sector would be earning minimum wage?
I would say over 50 to 60%.
Okay.
All right. So it's a significant increase for petroleum dealers in the Bahamas.
Yeah.
Your salary just went up from anywhere from $800 to $1,200 a week. $800 to $1,200 a week works out to be about $50,000 a year extra. Mm-hmm. So if you're struggling now in the petroleum industry, you just got an additional cost added to your base costs and all your other operational costs of $50,000. Mm-hmm. So if you weren't making anything prior to this, you're definitely not making anything now. Mm-hmm. And so I am for full employment of the Bahamian people, Dwight. I am for increase in minimum wage. I have no problem with that. I'm trying to minimize any type of layoffs within this industry. We want full employment within the industry, but we're operating again, Dwight, with a margin of 54 cents. So I want the Bahamian people. When you pull up to a gas station at Rubus, Shell, or Esso, and you see that price on the dispenser, we call it dispensers, most people call it the gas pump. And if you see $5.83, or you see $5.21, or you see $5.86, that is not all going to the petroleum dealers in this country.
Right.
That is broken down into cost of goods sold, into government tax, wholesalers tax, dealers tax, stamp tax, and so it's a combination of all these taxes. Mm-hmm. And so we only make 54 cents, Dwight. Mm-hmm. And from that 54 cents, we have to pay rent, franchise fee, salaries, buy inventory for the store. We have to buy more fuel. So it's a challenging industry. It's always been a challenging industry, but we still, day after day, year after year, we continue to employ Bahamians and we continue to stick to this model. Right. We're asking the government, and I plead to the government again, please, Mr. Prime Minister, please, Mr. Akitas, please, Mr. Wilson, come and sit down with us again at the table. Let us resolve this matter. Help us so we could keep with the margin, so we could keep Bahamians 100% employed. Mm-hmm. Please, Mr.
Right.
Please, Brave.
We'll come
please,
back to
Mr.
the margins a bit. That's a big story. But in addition to the minimum wage increase, the price control from last year, those changes, that affected you all as well, right?
Definitely.
Yeah. Let's talk about that and and how and why.
The price control is price control. That's regulated by government. Mm-hmm. So we don't control that. But the price of fuel, last August was $7.39. Mm-hmm. Now at retail gas stations, I think it's this morning, it's $5.83 at Esso, $5.86 at Shell, $5.21 at Rubus. Mm-hmm. So the cost of goods sold has decreased. So consumers in the Bahamas, gas station operators, as well as a motoring public, have benefit from the decrease in oil prices.
Right.
So Bahamians are saving from that. But we continue to struggle because remember now, when the price of fuel was $7.39, we still only made 54 cents. Mm-hmm. Even when it declined, we still only make 54 cents. The key to this thing is this model is flawed.
Right.
This model needs to be revisited, and we need to find a common ground where we could restructure this model so whether or not the price of oil goes up or down, gas station operators in this country can make a decent income, or if not even break even.
You could have made up for it in the convenience stores by marking up prices, but now with price control, you can't do that either.
With price control, you can't do that. But I remember now, I mean, there's only so much you can charge for a bag of chip. You can't charge $3 for a small bag of chip.
Some of y'all try it.
Well, I don't know who those persons are,
okay.
and if those persons are charging more than 99 cents or $1 for a bag of chip, I'll tell them now, stop it.
Oh.
There's only so much you can charge for a can of Coke soda. There's only so much you can charge for a hot patty. There's only so much you can charge for a bottle of water.
I don't think there's a ceiling on hot patties.
Well, there is a ceiling on hot patties.
And then
market forces will.
No, market forces don't count. Not after 9 o'clock.
Well, no, man.
Not after 9 o'clock, the market
9
forces
PM,
don't. 9 p.m. There's no such thing, because especially if you live in a food, what the Americans call a food desert. So it's like, at a certain point, the only convenience store is going to be a gas station.
But remember now, gas stations in the Bahamas are open 24 hours,
No, that's what I'm saying.
7 days a week.
Right.
But another point, hospitals, gas stations, hotels, and police and law enforcement. There are only entities that I could think of on top of my head that are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. So when banks and other business establishments close, gas stations are open 24 hours, 7 days a week. So our light bill has gone up. PPL just announced that the light increase is oncoming.
It's already started. Yeah.
So it's already started. So I mean, so minimum wage, light bill. Once minimum wage goes up, your NIB contribution now goes up. And then remember now, but gas stations pay business license on gross turnover, not on net profit. So if you gross $100 and your net profit is $1, you don't pay business license on $1. You pay business license on the $100. I mean, come on, man. This whole model, has to start to make sense. So I'm here this morning, Dwight.
Yeah.
To plead our concern again.
All right.
I implore again. Can I beg on the show, Dwight?
I think you're ready to. But okay, so let's go. There's a lot of issues here. Let's go through them all. Let's begin with the margin. So you've been calling for this for years now. A percentage.
We've been calling for the minimum wage to not minimum wage for the percentage increase, for a percentage increase on margin. On the fuel margin 54 cents on gas, 34 cents in diesel. We're asking that to be converted to a percentage base that's a flexible percentage base, can float between high and low, and we have a benchmark of say anywhere between 20%, 25%. So whether the price of oil goes up or goes down, we will still be able to survive in this industry.
Okay, so outline it for us. How would that benefit you?
You want to take home 20% of every dollar.
Yeah. Because I mean, right now it's only 8%.
Right.
We want taking 8%.
But I'm saying, so what would justify the jump of 12%?
I mean, the increase in operational costs.
Right.
We don't necessarily want an increase. Remember, we are struggling to pay all of these operational costs from 54 cents. And so the gross margin on 54 cents basically is 8%.
So what are you proposing? That come out of somebody else's, or that be added on to?
We don't want to add on anything.
No. They're saying that instead of sending the money to wherever it's going now, which I assume would be the government.
Well, is that what you're saying? Because I mean, you could see which one is it?
I'm listening.
No, let's hear from you. He's speculating. You must have thought this through.
Well, everybody knows. Everybody who know this industry, that the government of the Bahamas, and I mean, I say the government of the Bahamas, whoever's in charge of the government today, the government of the Bahamas is the ones who make all the money from the gas stations in the Bahamas. It's through a form of a tax, but that's around the world. So we're not knocking the government for taxing that particular industry. We're saying that, hey, if you're making a profit from this industry, we think that we should also be able to make a profit from this industry. We're not knocking the government. The government was elected by the people for the people, and we support the government whatever they do. But we're saying, government, please assist us in trying to stay operable by adjusting this fixed margin to a percentage base so we can continue to operate. We're challenging this industry. We're in dire straits in this industry, and we've been in dire straits for several years. And this is the worst. I'm telling you, I can consider myself an expert in this industry after about 15, 16 years. And this is the worst I've ever seen it.
All right, so if the government were to say, well, we need what we're getting from this, and we have to add it on, and that means the cost will go up. What would you say if they come back and say, that's the only way this could work? We're going to have to put this on the Bahamian people.
I would say government, we could look at it even in depth, and we could fine tune it and tweak it a little bit more so the cost is not passed on to the Bahamian people. There's several ways to approach. Several ways. I mean, we could
go from 20 to 50.
There's several ways. We don't have. Remember now, the price of oil is declining, and as the price of oil declines, the cost of the pump will also decline. So maybe now, then will be an opportunity to say, hey, we can now tweak this model and add it on.
But it could go up at any minute.
But then again, the oil prices tend to be a part of the business cycle. All right, and usually whatever goes up comes down. But at the end of the day, I believe if we looked at it properly, we study it properly, we're studying it, we continue to study it properly, the impact would be very, very, very low. The impact would not be that significant, where it will hurt the government, or it will hurt the consumers, or it even hurt the dealers. At the end of the day, consumers, which happen to be the driving public, government, as well as dealers.
What about the workers?
Definitely the workers as well. Just
make sure that
let me tell you something, man.
Go ahead.
Gas station operators in this country have for years taken good care of their employees. I mean, the things that we do behind the scene for our employees, like most businesses around here, most employers, we don't go on the radio and go on television and say we did this for our employees and we did that. But I can tell you, gas station operators in this country, we pay some rent sometimes for some of our employees. We help them sometimes with half of the children's school fee. We sometimes go to our pockets and do medical bills for employees sometimes. I mean, other employers, and that's why I think some do the same. We don't publicize what we do, but I can tell you from where I sit, and from where I sit, and the people in this industry that I'm associated with, we do so much behind the scenes that we don't ask for credit, we don't seek recognition, but we help our employees. And I'm going to tell you this, Dwight, we don't want to terminate employees. Let me tell you something. We don't want to terminate employees. We want to hire more employees. And so if the government work with us, the Prime Minister said yesterday about growing this economy. If the government work with us, right, we can hire more people. We can diversify our income and create new jobs in other sectors and hire more people. I'm here to plead for that.
So my question, go with me. All right, and that's fine. None of us.
No, you all don't gang up on me. I see
No.
you trying to box me. I can come out like a cat now. I can crawl my way out of this.
Dwight is concerned about the price of gas so that he can continue driving his Porsche with high octane gasoline.
Trying to get to electric. Right? I'll still come in your stores.
So this is my thing, and as on Dwight's point, right? Because I mean, listen, let's not even talk about firing workers. One of the things that always obsesses me is whenever like a company is like, I guess we love to fire people. So let's pretend that's not even on the table.
But I do want to bring that up later.
You can bring that up later.
Yeah, but let's hear your question.
So my question is, right, for the person to say, okay, percentage is a slippery game, 54 cents is a little bit, but at the same time, we got other things going on. What about pivoting? Because we look at a lot of large companies in the Bahamas. One day they have 7, 11, 12 locations. A decade later, nobody even know who they is. Right? They disappear. And there's several large companies when I was a kid that don't exist anymore. Right? Because electric is clearly supposedly the way of the future. At some point, 50 years from now, there won't be as many gas stations if things go according to plan, right, as there are now. What is being done to pivot in this present model as well as going forward to make sure that the profitability, the sustainability of gas stations or petroleum dealers inside the country? And for example, case in point, whenever I need air for my tire, none of the people around me, let me say that now.
What area do you live in?
I live in Golden Gates,
I think almost everybody has.
And
that
you know what?
story.
You know what I have to do?
Everybody has a
I go
similar
on the
situation.
I go on the ass.
You have to go to 3 before you can find one
right.
that works.
Rubus, I could never get Rubus one. I don't know how the machine work. I'm saying I can't say they don't.
I'm going to stop you right there.
Let me call Ellen Ness.
No, hold on. I'm going to stop you right there.
Go ahead.
No, you'll be surprised to know how many individuals come and steal the chuck from gas stations in the evening or in the night. They literally come and steal the chuck off the air hose at night. Just steal it. So they inconvenience the general public by for that. The theft of air chucks. I can write a story.
That's crazy.
No, right. But
hold on. At SOE Street and Soldier Road, we always have our air working. Come on down. And guess what? Air is free. We don't even charge you for air.
No, but so now
we don't charge you for air.
But see, that's my point. My point is there are add-ons that gas stations could. So
Wait,
you're the one
you
that
putting that idea in their head to start charging.
No,
for
I
air?
would.
No. I wouldn't even.
One second. No, listen to me. As an ardent socialist, I'm asking you to charge me for air. Right, and the reason is because you know what I've been forced to do.
You have to kill your mic, sir.
What I've had to do for the last several times that I needed air in my tire is go to somebody who sells used tires and give them $3 to put air in my tire. I would rather have a vending machine situation of some sort.
Oh my goodness!
Where you guys are saying, "Oh my goodness," you saying that you only making 54 cents. For every gallon, I telling you, I will give you quarter for some air.
I believe we need to.
Once again,
it's a free service that gas stations have been offering for years. And I don't propose that we charge for air.
Well,
I'm
just trying to.
No.
You don't have to do that.
People already. Now you want to burden the Bahamian people now by charging them for air?
Well, they have to drive around in circles to find it.
We're about bringing relief to people. We want to bring relief to people. We don't want to burden them by charging them.
I'm just giving you, and it's fine. You don't have to charge me for air if you don't want to charge me for air. That's fine.
It's a legitimate question.
But here's the thing: what are you doing to pivot? Because there are add-on services. Because in my mind, I see a used tire person every 2 blocks inside some neighborhoods. But I don't see, because the thing is, at the end of the day, when electric cars come on stream, one thing that all electric cars have in common with the internal combustible engine is that they still need tires. So we still going to be going to the used tire man, to the tire man. There is capital and there's the ability for petroleum dealers to expand. The same way they sell in Pampers, they could also have add-ons where it's like, hey, here are tires. You need tires. Because you all sell brake fluid, right?
We do.
Okay. And is there... If I tell the guy the pump attendant and say, hey, I don't know how to change my oil, could you check it for me? I'll tip him extra. These are add-on services that you guys could add on. Now, I'm not saying that abandon all hope for all the other stuff, but I'm asking, is any of this stuff on the table to help supplement the business and to keep you guys sustainable? Because at some point, not everybody, if we fix public transportation, everybody ain't gonna need gas no more. If we get electric vehicles, everybody ain't gonna need gas no more. So what are we doing to look forward to pivot to the future?
I hear this argument being presented and proposed all the time about electric cars. The average electric car is well in excess of $35,000 to $40,000. The battery for electric cars, in some cases, are nearly half the price of the car. No matter how we fix our mouth to say electric cars, the future and all that stuff, the average Bahamian won't be able to afford an electric car. And gas stations, if we go in the direction of electric car, we can always convert our dispensers to charge stations, eh? And we could charge for that. But I mean, all these add-ons and stuff, there's only so much that we could do. I mean, you talk about tire repair, you talk about all these. Some people told me that we start selling beer. We don't get into the liquor business, man. And next,
with people driving.
Yeah,
I wouldn't suggest that.
I hear what you're saying, but the core of our business is fuel.
Okay, so this is the one that really I am sure you don't want to go down this road, but you have to seriously consider it. We know in other parts of the world, in the U.S. especially, most of the time you're pumping your own gas. Will it come? Does it need to come to that where it's self-serve and you save the money on? I know Stephen doesn't want to hear that, but you save the money on employing.
I have very strong feelings about stuff that I have.
But could that help the situation for everybody?
That will bring
except for
some
employees.
Immediate relief to gas station operators because obviously it has to do with salaries, and if you could cut your salaries in half and then you could stay operational, right? However, we could probably even designate 1 or 2 pumps full service, 1 or 2 pumps self-service. Will that eliminate our problem? It probably will be a band-aid on our problem. At the end of the day, it's still the margin that we're dealing with. It's still the cost of fuel. Our upfront cost is too expensive. I mean, and then we're not the ones. We're the ones who are making the investment, Dwight. We are not the ones reaping the benefits from this investment.
Right.
And that's always been our point. And we felt it even more during the pandemic. We felt it. We continue to feel it now during the war between Ukraine and Russia. And so we continue to have our concerns. We continue to have our plights. Self-service is one thing, yes. But there again, we're laying off people. We don't, Dwight, and the Bahamian people, and the Prime Minister, Al-Qaeda and Wilson, we're not in the business of job termination. That's not what I'm here for this morning. I don't want to, because remember now, I'm also, even though I might own the gas station, and I work 7 days a week like I work. I have family to feed. I have people I have to help as well. But I'm not in the business of termination. I'm in the business of helping people. Gas station operators in this country, we do more behind the scenes, in front of the scenes, around the corner for a lot of Bahamians and a lot of people, Dwight. The last thing I want to do is fire the pump attendant, or fire a cashier, or fire a stocker, or fire someone in my deli. I'm not in that business. I'm in that business of providing an essential commodity, and all we're saying is, hey, at the end of the day, we want to make a return of our investment based on the amount of monies that we've injected over time.
Quick question, can I ask? What's the benefit of the franchise?
I mean, there are a lot of benefits from the franchise. There are marketing benefits, there are location benefits, there are several benefits. I mean, there's a whole laundry of benefits of being a franchise compared to being an independent dealer. But we might even have to look at that.
Right, because I'm saying, because I know you have franchise fees because, Rubus is an international franchise.
Yeah, I mean, Rubus, Esso, Shell is. Right. I mean, some of the Shell sites are. Some of the Shell sites are corporate. And we have to, maybe we need to look at all that. Maybe we need to even look at that.
Yeah, I mean, and I'm just asking in terms of, I'm trying to figure out, locally what the benefit is. Because I know what the benefit is for, fast food franchises. Because they get certain products and merchandise, and then they also get this is what you're gonna do, and the advertisement that's on American television helps impact local business. But I don't see gas people internationally advertising on television, so it doesn't impact me. I only see the local advertisements.
No. I mean, there are benefits.
And that's not me.
There are benefits. There are more benefits. There are benefits and there are disadvantages to it. Some complain, the operational costs levied by some of the wholesalers adds to the burden of some retailers. Some people differ on that. I don't have an opinion on that per se. Any questions or points in regards to wholesalers, you'll have to speak to them directly on that. Right. I speak from where for retailers. I don't speak for wholesalers.
So you guys don't get a discount because you guys are with us or anything?
No. It's an arrangement by some dealers, and it is what it is. But we represent a brand. There's some requirements being a representative of a brand, and that's the most I'll say on that. Yeah. But any issues with wholesalers, any questions in regards to wholesalers, you'll have to have them in the room. Have them in the room, and they'll speak for themselves. I can't speak for them. I can only speak for retailers and where I sit.
Okay, so you've said you don't want to lay off staff, so that is not something on.
That's not on the table, Dwight. I don't know why you keep on bringing it up.
All right, but what about? Dwight, that's what Dwight wants us to do. We're gonna get rid of some of them and send them to the Guardian to work.
You're talking stress.
No.
Anyway, so what about? I'm sure many of you are considering this of no longer being 24 hours.
Dwight, there is a safety involved in that as well too. You shut down these gas stations at midnight. You shut down the air conditioning. You shut down the pumps. Shut down the computer system. And you open back up. Say you close at midnight and you open back at 5 a.m. or 6 a.m. in the morning. Sometimes those things have to reboot. That might take a half an hour, 45 minutes. Sometimes it might be more beneficial to stay open after midnight and have less traffic than to reboot all that. It's let me tell you something. It's not as basic as the average person stinks, eh? And like, you know, I just was speaking to a dealer on my way here, and he was saying, you know, Mr. Bastian, you know, sometimes it's just more beneficial to help stay open for those extra couple hours and be a convenience to the fellow working from the hotel who coming home at night at 12 o'clock who may need gas.
You used to drive chutney.
No,
because that's that. My uncle used to
you
be
know,
like, sometimes it's just cheaper to leave the
fella coming from the club and he want a hot dog and he's hungry and all the fast food places are closed and he might get a hot dog or a cheap hot party, not like my friend here is alluding.
These $5 hot parties.
No $5 hot parties, right? And so there might be some benefits. There are more benefits, I think, to that than there aren't benefits, you know. And you know, and also there's a safety issue involved in things, in being open 24/7. But you know, Dwight, at the end of the day, gas station operators in this country continue to have a challenge. We're continue to be continuously challenged by high cost of fuel, by the increase in minimum wage recently announced by the government.
Yeah,
that will then take payroll from say $1,000 extra a week, times that by 4 weeks. That works out to be about $48,000 a year on average, because you are anywhere between, like I say, anywhere between $1,000 to $1,200 extra a week. So we're here at this. We are back at the drawing table, and we're asking the government again for assistance. How could you help us?
Okay, we got to take a break. When we come back, I want to ask you, so what if they are the government unable to do anything for you? What is the worst case scenario, and when will we experience that? That's coming back after the break. That's the question everybody wants to know, right? I mean, there's no more milk in the cow, so what are you going to do with the cow? Are you going to chop it up for steak? What are you going to do? What are you going to do? We're
Get rid of the cow?
I tell you, that was a male cow, so there was never any milk.
There's no such thing as a male cow.
Bull, then. Bull is right. This is Morning Blend Business on Guardian Radio 96.9.
There's no more milk in the cow.
Oh, gosh. Stay with us, folks.
Ready to save? You can put $100 into the CFAL Savings Express Plan and make sure your money keeps growing. Earn interest on your savings while you're sleeping, eating, or standing in line at the bank. Ready to invest? Start by putting $1,000 into our mutual funds and earn interest there too. Because at CFAL, your interest is our interest. Visit CFAL.com to start now. CFAL, growing wealth for future generations of Bahamians.
Tokyo is calling, and your Scotiabank MasterCard could take you there. For every transaction valued $100 or more with your Scotiabank MasterCard, you receive a digital entry for a chance to win a priceless experience for two in Tokyo, Japan. Online or overseas transactions will double your chance to win. Promotion valid from December 16th, 2022 to January 13th, 2023. Conditions apply. For more information, visit bs.scotiabank.com.
Whether your business is in-store, on the go, or both, let Fidelity work with you to maximize your customers' payment options with a fixed or mobile terminal so that you never miss a sale. It's safer than cash and more convenient so that you can take your business anywhere. For details, contact a business development officer today at 356-7764 in Nassau or 352-6676 in Freeport, or visit our website at fidelitygroup.com.
Tokyo is calling, and your Scotiabank MasterCard could take you there. For every transaction valued $100 or more with your Scotiabank MasterCard, you receive a digital entry for a chance to win a priceless experience for two in Tokyo, Japan. Online or overseas transactions will double your chance to win. Promotion valid from December 16th, 2022 to January 13th, 2023. Conditions apply. For more information, visit bs.scotiabank.com.
We're back here with Morning Glen Business on Guardian Radio 96.9. Dwight Strong along with Stephen Hanna. We are talking with Vasco Bastian, the Vice President of the Bahamas Retailers Association. He's outlining the challenges his sector is facing and why they're asking for the government to assist them in implementing a percentage-based margin system instead of the fixed margins that they have now. And so you want to answer my big question now, or you want to save that for a little bit later? What's going to happen, worst case scenario?
What's going to happen to the
If
cow?
they don't, yeah.
What's going to happen to the cow? If the government didn't intervene and help us, the cow, I guess the cow will die.
Oh, boy.
The cow will die. The cow will go in the pastures and just roll down and die. I can be honest. The cow, there's no more milk in the cow, Dwight.
How soon will we start to see this death?
I hope. I can't predict that, but very, very soon, I guess, because the cow is dead. And you can't cut up the cow and get beef if it's a dead cow, eh?
Okay, we were talking about another. We don't have to call the name. We don't have to call the name of the place, but there's a station that's doing a lot. They've got restaurants, they've got car wash, they've got all kinds of things going on there. Could we see that? Maybe is that the future for other stations? Like, this is what Steve was talking about, sort of. But other things.
Add-ons. They don't have. Maybe not everything.
We've had, in particular. And I hate to say this because in my capacity as I represent all the brands, but we had one particular brand who's been selling chicken for more than a decade,
right?
And so that's a part of pivoting and pivoting.
And people love the chicken.
Huge, 2-3 a.m. That's the place to be.
So we looking at this model.
There's another one that sells tuna and grits now at 2 a.m. in the morning, and that's doing a lot for them.
There's another one to my right. I could look that way, and I look your good point. I can't call the name that sells salsa. So there might be other opportunities within the model from the C-store point of the convenience store side to try to bring more new products in line to try and help in that way. But the bottom line is still the cost, the operational cost, Dwight.
Yeah.
Is unbelievable, and the taxes levied by the government on gas stations for the last decades is unsustainable. Not only, and there's some other issues there's some issues with certain wholesalers. You know what I mean? But I don't want to, like I said, I don't want to get into that as well. But but at the end of the day, our backs are against the wall. Price of crude oil is falling. Gas station operators continue to suffer in this industry. We're asking the government again to try and come to the table with us. We could sit down. We could resolve this. We could put this baby to sleep.
Yeah.
The cow has no more milk. Let's put this cow to sleep. Let's put this baby to sleep. Let's deal with this issue up front and center. Dwight, I don't want to sound like a Scotch record again, but I asked the Minister Alcides. I asked the Prime Minister, please, sir, meet with us. Let's resolve this issue. Let's move forward. And at the end of the day, let's grow this economy. Let's keep these pump attendants, these cashiers, and also, Dwight, the indirect jobs that we create in gas. We hire accountants. We hire inventory people that come count inventory. We purchase goods from the wholesalers.
Yeah.
We purchase lubricants from other oil suppliers.
Yeah.
So there's this indirect or multiplier effect, they call it in economics, investment in the economy. And we just need help.
So since the headline yesterday about the cow and since your last meetings, what has the government been saying to you?
The government has indicated.
Because you were very optimistic.
I still remain optimistic. The government have indicated some leeway in regards to
With what?
Business license. The government is looking at that very closely because, like I said earlier on the show, and I said briefly, business license is paid on gross turnover, or not on net profit. So the government is looking at it very, very favorably, looking at how could we structure something to offset that challenge that gas station operators are having. But there's nothing in black and white. That's one thing that the government has said to us, and hopefully it comes to pass. But other issues are still on the table. The government has presented some ideas, and we heard a couple of ideas, and so we're still back and forth. We're kind of like at an impasse.
Yeah.
But I don't want to get into specifics again because I don't want to commit myself, and I definitely can't commit the government to anything.
Put them on.
No. I'm the only thing I'm going to say with this government, Dwight, and I said this before, and I say this to Stephen. Stephen, I want you, Stephen, I want you to look. I will look you in the eye when I say.
Okay, go ahead. Listen to that.
This is the first time in my 15, 16 years in this industry that a government has been so open to sitting down with us and discussing the challenges of this industry.
But the cow's still
the cow is
dry.
still the cow's still well.
You guys are using this metaphor. I want you to know that dairy cows don't make it past 6 years. They can live to 20 years, but how the dairy industry works
But,
is
you know,
not.
there's this hope. There's this hope, Dwight, that I have, and Stephen, that I have, that the government of the day, and the leadership of Philip Brave Davis, and Michael Akitas and Simon Wilson, who is the finance secretary, will come back with us and say, hey, Mr. Bastian, we hear your cry. We agree with your cry. Here is our resolution. Can you sign off on this? And then we will say to the government, you've been good and faithful servant to the Canadian people. You've been good to the gas station operators.
It didn't work for you last time, though. I don't know why you're doing this again. Okay.
And then we go off.
You can't stop trying. You gotta keep trying.
I see.
I gotta
Okay.
keep
persistence.
I get it.
I wanna help, but I
Stephen, we need your help, Stephen.
When you ready to pivot?
Did you hear he wants people to pay for air? I mean, you don't want that help.
Stephen,
I think that the average consumer.
No.
Dwight is not the average consumer.
And I'm not
he drives a Mercedes-Benz.
Not willing to pay for air.
Dwight and his Bugatti don't count, right? So it's
I heard he has a Rolls Royce on the dock. Just waiting.
Can't clear it yet. If you have any questions for Vasco Bastian, give us a call, 325-4316, and you can text us 422-4796 or tweet us or Facebook us. Okay, so the business license, if you get some assistance with that, if that
pay
is
on the
tweaked,
net as opposed to the gross.
right? How much will that help to push back the doom and gloom that you're saying?
It would help in a little way. It would be major help. Remember now, so business licenses that are due March 31st, 2023, for the previous year. When the price of oil was at $7.39, and it cost you X amount of dollars to purchase that fuel. Your business license is a reflection also on the VAT, your monthly VAT payments. So you can imagine for the average gas station owner and operator, business license, I would predict, would be anywhere between $35,000 to $40,000 for last year.
Yeah, but
I mean.
But then if it's lower this year, then it'll be lower. It'll be lower next year.
No, but I'm just guys.
I understand what you're saying.
Stephen, listen, man.
But
listen, Steve.
You gotta
we cannot pass on any additional costs that we encounter in this model to the consumers. Whereas other businesses do. Because I think Stephen is just trying to hit me side of my head, and he don't think I'm looking, eh? Other businesses, any additional increase in operational costs, you can pass it on to your consumer through increasing your price for certain items in your store, or you could do X, Y, Z, or you could move from one sector of your middle to another sector. In the gas station business, we cannot pass on costs.
Yeah.
Okay, we the bread basket item, remember, and then the bread basket items with inside our C-store that we can only charge 23% or whatever it is on that. So we damn if we don't, we damn if we do, I guess.
So let's take it to the other side. Dwight wants to go worst case scenario. Let's say best case scenario, right? The government says, okay, fine, we'll give you guys a percentage. We'll give you the 20%. However, we also want to do, like how they do inside England, a windfall tax. Any profit that you make over this amount is going to be severely taxed.
Well, we have to let.
Would you guys be open to that?
No, Stephen, I'm not going to let you put that on me.
I'm saying, would you be open to the conversation?
We open to any conversation.
Right.
Stephen,
I'm listening.
We pay our taxes, you know.
I'm just saying.
We pay our taxes.
I'm glad.
Anything that the government proposes, we could sit down, intelligent people, around the table, and we could talk about it. I'm not going to commit to anything unless we have the right research and we know exactly how would that benefit us in the long term.
But you open.
But we open.
You open to the conversation.
Stephen, I'm open to anything that would move us forward in this industry. Okay. We're not gonna go in the corner and hide and say, oh no, we're not gonna do this, we're not gonna do anything that's gonna benefit us, the Bahamian people, and even the government at the end of the day.
All right.
We're open to that. We are investors in this economy. I always want to stress that point. That gas station operators in the Commonwealth of the Bahamas are investors in the economy. We've invested in this economy. We put up our money. We've been in business for more than 10, some of us 10, 50, some of us 40 years. And we just think at the end of the day, we should have a reasonable return on an investment. That's all it is. We're not asking for you to go and pull some stars of the sky and give it to put on our lap. And remember now, we provide an essential commodity 24/7, 7 days a week. Stephen, gas stations, hospitals, the police and hotels are some of the only businesses I know. And if there are more, tell me who the other ones are that are open 24/7, 7 days a week.
Some of
the
them
Guardian
aren't open.
But
anyway, I guess you know what the gas station is.
Yeah, and so you, Stephen, you're a healthy guy. You could consume. I'm not going to call you fat, Stephen. I'm not going to call you. You're a healthy guy. You could, when you get up in the middle of the night, if you're feeling that itch to a nice hot party, you want to get up.
I don't eat hot parties.
Or wherever you are, say a honey bun or whatever you want to bun, or a pack of cookies or Gatorade. You expect the gas station to be open. Or if you're coming home on your way home from a function and you forget to purchase water,
and that's what I'm saying.
You forget to purchase a water and the food store's closed.
Right.
You come to the convenience store of the gas station and you go and then you want to buy a gallon of water. You don't want to spend $5 for a gallon of water. Come on.
Here's the thing. I have and then once again, I don't have an issue with that, and I fully understand that it plays a role in the general community beyond just gas.
Exactly.
And all I'm saying is,
but we also can't price ourselves out of the market.
Perhaps we need to expand in that direction.
Well, let me tell you, when this first happened,
pineapples, right?
When this first happened, I had a major problem with it. I wish more people had been vocal about it. I always haven't had an issue with VAT being put on fuel, and because there's already a tax on it. But perhaps this is where the negotiating room is to get them to that VAT. Give it back to you all, maybe, perhaps.
That could be.
Would be the customers wouldn't see the difference there.
That's a possibility.
But perhaps that is something
that's
to
still the
consider.
numbers, though.
I don't know what the numbers are. I don't know how much money they make from this. It's probably quite a bit. But
which is why
that's why they're holding on.
Right.
To it.
That's why they would want.
But maybe that is where the wiggle room will be.
I mean, governments have the ability to do what they want to do. I think that is a decision that the government will have to look at if they choose to go that route.
Mm-hmm.
I can't speak for the government per se, but I mean, there is this VAT on fuel, and it is what it is.
Yeah.
And, so I don't.
That ain't going nowhere, Dwight.
Yeah.
I don't know, boy.
I mean, they'll be more open to the percentage.
Yeah,
they'll argue about what the percentage.
But
might
again,
be.
where is it coming from?
No. The percentage isn't going to be an add-on. The percentage is going to be like I feel like they'll be open to say, okay, we'll give you this percentage. And then if it fluctuates up and down, you get this.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll be more open to that than to say that 10%.
Yeah.
No
government's going to give back.
You want 54% and 10%?
So it's the people who will suffer.
Yeah. No, we're not adding on anything. We're saying that we're going to keep it within the same number, whatever the price is.
We don't want the Bahamian people to suffer.
The price is the price.
See, Stephen, I'm siding with Stephen now. We're gonna go against you.
The price is the price, but they're going to give them a percentage. I don't think the government's going to say 20.
Yeah,
I mean, once again,
whatever.
I don't speak for the government, so who knows?
None of us speak for the government.
Well, okay, some text messages. Somebody says here, the government needs to increase their margins. Or are they saying you all, or whose margins? Your margins? Their margins. Their margins, and if they don't, then they may be forced to go to pump your own gas to decrease their operating expenses.
You see, and I can tell you, Dwight, you would be surprised to know how many Bahamians now want to pump their own gas. So maybe we need to even test that. Hey, we need probably even to test that. Say, hey,
it's faster.
It's so we have 7 days a week. Say Monday, Wednesday, and Friday self-service.
Mm-hmm.
The other days full service. But I don't think we should. I think we should do a combination of both. Some pumps are self-service, and some pumps are full service.
Could you get them to fix the card machines on the pumps? Some of them have
we could implement that and upgrade that. I mean, there are some stations now that do the handheld where you pull up and you could swipe, you pass the bump in your card, swipe it, and they go ahead and they do it right there.
I can tell you who.
And so
I don't know why you don't want me to say ASO, but okay. ASO does it.
This person says
Stephen, I represent everybody. I cannot.
No, I'm saying it.
Yeah, but I don't want as an Esso dealer. I don't want to come on the Dwight show and promote Esso. Next thing you know, the other
will
guy,
have to pay. You have to advertise.
Well, exactly.
Right,
but
exactly.
you know.
This person says you all are showing your greed. Oh boy, what do you say to that?
You know, I don't agree with that. There's an article, Dwight, earlier part of last year. It was done by the former Senator Phil Galanis. And I'm going to send you a copy of that. And if Phil Galanis is listening in, I wish you could reprint that whole article. I think it was in the Nassau Guardian. Mr. Galanis, please resubmit your article so the Bahamian people can understand this whole industry. I think a lot of Bahamians are uneducated or uninformed in regards to this whole industry called petroleum industry. I don't think they understand it, and they always think there's been this misconception, and I want to dispel that rumor that gas station owners and operators are these wealthy people who live in the suburbs, and they're members of the country clubs, and they fly out from Odyssey or Jet Aviation in these private jets for the weekend. Ladies and gentlemen.
With your top hat and your monocle.
Exactly. Ladies and gentlemen. I drive a Solio Suzuki.
I don't know what that is.
A Solio Suzuki is a 4-cylinder. I drive a very modest vehicle. Yes, I also had a vehicle, a truck. I've since even not retired that, but I don't even drive that.
Because you can't afford the gas.
Because I can't afford the gas. So please, ladies and gentlemen, stop that. We are not wealthy people. If I was a wealthy man, I would still come on Dwight Strachan show.
Thank you.
But I wouldn't be here begging the government to intervene on behalf of the hundreds of gas station operators throughout the Commonwealth of the Bahamas.
Interesting text. I think this might be along the lines of what Stephen was talking about earlier, but this person says, Mr. Bastian is continuing to bark up the wrong tree. The government has a tremendous payroll and I guess needs all the money it can get. You need to renegotiate the exorbitant rents and fees that you pay to the wholesalers.
That is another issue for another day. I've always heard the cry from people and those individuals I'll be very honest with you. The wholesalers in this industry have worked and continues to work with dealers. And so, yes, they have their I guess, they have their the word I'm looking for the word. They have their role to play in regards to their profit and what they need to bring in order for them to also stay profitable. But that's a whole different ball game. I don't want to dwell too much into that. You can invite the wholesalers on the show. As a matter of fact, a couple months ago, a wholesaler called me up crying to me about their margin of 33 cents.
Yeah, that's
I mean, so I don't want to go down that road.
It's 80 cents the
government's giving away.
No.
Hold on,
Government is very
man, Stephen, stop your foolishness, man. But that whole wholesale issue is something I don't want to touch right on your show or any show. Okay. I don't want to never, and I will not speak. Let me make that abundantly clear. I will not speak for the wholesalers. Okay. I think they're more than capable to speak for themselves. Okay. I am here to represent the retailers who are continuously challenged by the 54 cents that they receive from gasoline and the 34 cents that they receive from diesel.
All right, this person's asking, can you say what the average amount is in sales for gasoline, for fuel, each month? You have any numbers of that? And does that...
per gallons or they want dollar amount? Gallons, it all depends on your location. Some location could sell anywhere between 100,000 gallons a month. Some station could sell more. Some stations could sell less. But I see exactly where that caller is going. He's probably want to take those gallon numbers and times them by the retail numbers at the pump and say, "Oh, you guys are grossing X, Y, Z." It's not all what it seems. I see where that caller is going, but it averages on your demographics or where your station is. If you
have a lot of traffic.
If you have a lot of traffic, out east or in central New Providence or west. It all depends on where you're located.
And were people buying less when the prices were in the $6 range?
People were buying, anytime the gas prices rise, people buy less. People, as the price fall, people tend to buy more. Like right now.
That's really strange.
Because
it costs more to put. Okay,
yeah. So if I
only have $20.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, when when gas get to $5, and hopefully it goes down, continue to trend down to $5, people would be more, people would fill up their cars more compared to when it's higher. When it's higher, people are like, hey, this is $7. I only can put $15 or $20.
But you put less in.
But Dwight, think about it. It's still dollars and cents.
Well, I guess so.
It's dollars and cents. I mean, another thing too. If you want to get more miles per your dollar, when you come to any gas station, gas treatment, Dwight, is an additive you could always put in your gas.
Yeah.
But I'm saying, once again, okay, so one thing that I noticed, right? Whenever you give a parking attendant the money.
Pump attendant.
Sorry, pump attendant.
Or customer service representative.
Sure.
We want to get sophisticated.
When you give them the money, they say you want anything from inside, almost like an add-on, so that you can tip them.
Right.
Why?
Oh, they do that?
No one has ever said to me, "Hey, would you like a gas additive? It could juice up the boy, make the wife."
Yeah.
These are add-ons that you guys. The same way when you go to the food store, they say you want BTC or a live top up.
No, it all comes with training and stuff like that. And some stations do it. Some do it and some don't.
Anyway, see, I know because I know where I go. But anyway, that's fine. That's a different topic.
I apologize for those ones who don't ask you, Stephen. But
y'all could ask me. That's all I said.
Stephen. Oh boy, Dwight, this is a rough one, eh?
Yeah. Well, we wish you all the best. Hopefully, next time we talk, you'll have some better news.
Thank you, Dwight. Thank you.
This is a tricky one, right? Because everybody. Oh boy. Anyway, we'll see how this goes. We'll
thank you, Dwight. Thank you, Dwight, for having me. Thank you, Stephen. And hopefully, I'll be back soon with some positive news, Dwight.
Yes.
And Happy New Year to all your listeners. And I await a call from Minister Alcides.
You've called his name enough this morning, so hopefully
the Prime Minister, we'd hear from him soon.
Thank you, Vasco Bastian. Appreciate it.
Thank you, Dwight. Thank you very much. Thank you, Stephen.
Morning That Business brought to you in part by CFAL, growing wealth for future generations. Pick up today's Guardian Business for the latest, hottest business news in the country. Stephen Hanna, thank you very much. Again, hopefully you'll enjoy your birthday weekend. And
happy birthday, Stephen.
I'll be back on Monday morning before the holiday on Tuesday with
Please fill up your tank, Stephen, with some gas while you celebrating your birthday.
Give him some free gas for his birthday.
You think we should give him a free fill up date? You think a voucher?
And his friends, especially the ones.
No, we can't give it.
No. Okay.
Not this man, but
we'll be back on Monday, everybody. Have a great weekend. On the Clock with Aaron Green next.